What up, Jennings? Welcome to TSG Uncut. I'm your host, Shaun C. In tonight's live stream, I have an interesting topic for you all. I had a couple ideas for tonight's live stream, but I came across some very powerful clips that I wanted to share with you all tonight. And they're about uh the dynamics of marriage. All right. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because one of the clips is something that I'm sure, some of you who have a girlfriend or have someone and you're not married, you may have had and come across these times or these questions. And one of the clips actually talks about a discussion between, it's a story about a man who, called into this show or sent his story into a show, or the show picked it. And his woman asked him about getting married. And I thought that it was a very interesting response because I can relate to the response. If you don't know, or if you're new to this channel, I've been through 2 marriages, and contrary to statistics, I'm the one who initiated both divorces. And I've talked about that here on this channel. Definitely talked about it with my subscribers, right? To the people who are members of this channel on different various videos. And members, I owe you all a video. I apologize about that. You will be getting a members only video soon, so stay tuned for that. But I thought this was important. I'm not trying to come at tonight's live stream and just say, you know what? Don't get married, right? Though you might take away from that exactly that. That's not my intent. Honestly, the intent that I have for tonight's live stream is to educate us all, to talk about these things. I want to leave an avenue to be able to talk about these situations that we find ourselves in, even in 2026, when the discussion of marriage tends to come up. I would hope that it gives men who have been through it some level of validation to feel like they weren't alone. I hope it gives insight to men who have never been married, some insight onto some of the feelings and the issues that men feel in the marriage. I hope if you're a woman watching this tonight, that you will learn how men feel about marriage, and the thing about marriage that usually most disappoints men. Men who are in it for the long haul, the thing that disappoints them. And then at the very end of tonight's live stream, which I'm gonna try not to hold y'all tonight too long. My son is here and everything like that. And so I want to make sure that I'm able to spend time doing that and do the other work I have to do. But at the end, we're going to talk about divorce. And I have a story that we're going to end the divorce off. And I'm going to be very fair to that woman. But I hope that if you stick around to the end, especially if you're a woman, especially if especially if you're fixated on the divorce part, I want to be able to shed some insight, because what the woman discusses at the last video is some of the challenges when you're a man going through divorce. The difference is that you might even feel a different level of isolation. So there's a lot of components. I only have essentially like 8 clips. Oh, shit. Is it 8 clips? Maybe 9 clips, okay? I only have 9 clips tonight. And of those 9 clips, there's some deep stuff that we need to talk about. Sorry I went on long-winded. I want to get more people up in here. Thank you to all of y'all here. Make sure you do me a favor, hit that like button, all right, so that people know that this live stream is going on. Thank you to my members. Thank you for continuing to support the channel, right? Thank you all for donating that cup of coffee a month to the continued work of this channel. Thank you for everyone who's recently subscribed to help us to get over 57,000 subs, but we're on the road to 60,000. That's the newest goal, right? My pledge is if we hit 60,000 subscribers, when we hit 60,000, the Friday after we hit 60,000 will be a Friday night jam session. Unless there's something else pending that I don't know about, the Friday after we hit 60,000 will be the Friday night jam session. Okay? So help us get there. When you subscribe to this channel, you become a gent, and this is a place that we discuss and talk about, our thoughts and feelings on the interpersonal relationships, the dating relationships, how that relates to everything going on today. That's what you get when you're with this channel. Enough about that. All right. I want to start y'all off with a clip. And this clip that I have, I want y'all to listen to. It's a longer clip, but it's going to allow me to go check on the macaroni that I got going on right now. Okay, I got some macaroni going on, just some stovetop macaroni, nothing crazy, okay? But I made some ribs today, and I made some baked beans. I need to go check on that. But this is going to set the tone for us starting. I want you to hear what these women say about dating, what they're going through. It's going to set the complete tone for what we're doing. And then we'll get back and I'll start doing the shout outs to the gents. Okay. So bear with me here. Let's put a 1 in the chat if you can hear this.
I have gained weight. I'm 34 years old. I'm not 25 anymore. And the guy that I dated when I was 25 just came back into my life, and he's in the best shape of his life.
I would give anything to have someone at home to love me and support me. I've been the working parent. I've been the part-time working parent. I've been the stay-at-home mom and wife. And now I'm the single mom working 2 jobs. And I miss my kids, but I have to pay my bills. If you're a parent and you have a partner at home who loves you and your kids and helps take care of you in any way, mentally, emotionally, financially, physically, however it may be, just thank them. Just say thank you. Remind them how grateful you are. Remind them how amazing they are. Because I would give anything to have someone at home to love me and support me.
I divorced my husband because I thought I didn't need him anymore. I divorced my husband because I had this senior position at work and thought I held the same position at home. I divorced my husband because I thought I was better than him because I had my degree now. I divorced my husband because I thought a successful marriage meant I was here and he was down here. That is not success. That's sickness. I found myself divorced and out there looking for love in all the wrong places. And this one and that one and that one and that one and this one and that one. And my body count going up and my value going down. All the while my husband done found somebody else building a relationship and building a life with them. I should have stayed married to my husband. I felt like I was on this dark road with no street lights, pitch dark, and I couldn't find my way and didn't know which way to go. I felt lost. I felt like I was walking barefoot on that dark road with pebbles and hot rocks sticking my foot. I felt hurt. I felt alone because every time he and that one and this one and that one left my bed, I was alone all by myself. And which was supposed to be soft and comfortable for me, my pillow, that was now filled with tears. I should not have left my husband.
He pursued me a year prior to this. Yes.
Right.
And so he kept trying and he would see me out.
Why didn't, within that year he pursued you, what made you not want him?
I thought he was too nice. I thought I would walk all over him, and I
thought he was too nice.
She thought wrong.
Oh, I did. I thought wrong.
I don't know what it is. There is this thought out there, this desire out there. I want me a soldier. I want me a hard dude. I want me this and that and the other thing. And those are the worst guys to get because they're not nice to you. And you get a nice guy and you're worried like, I don't want him. Why wouldn't you want a nice guy? I mean, they always say nice guy finish last. That's because women are foolish.
I agree.
Hear how I fumbled a good man? So 2 years ago, I was dating before I had my second child. I was dating 2 guys. It wasn't even dating. Well, yeah, you could say that. So I just couldn't make time for the first guy. And he was a good man. He's in the medical field, no kids, single. He was a good man, but our work schedules was so messed up. But then I met my baby daddy, and we worked together. He was my work husband. He started off as my work husband. Then I kind of strayed away from the first guy and started really focusing on my baby daddy, thinking I found my Prince Charming. That was one goofball mistake. Fast forward to now, he's getting married, and he's a good man. He's a good man. Great provider. Great, like, and then here's me, being a single mother of two, hurting for certain.
All right, let's stop right there. All right. So, listen, I wanted to start off with that. Most of these are stories of women with regret, women who found the right dude and they let that dude go. I thought that that was the perfect video to start off with. Plus, it bought me a little time. Thank you to all the gents for that. But it was the perfect video to lay the foundation of the women who had men who were good men. They all admitted it. Right? Perfect situations for them to find people to marry and settle down with. Yet, every time they chose something else, they thought something else was better. And then now you see them online with their tales of regret and woe. Now, I want you to think about something. I want to make sure that I set, again, I told y'all I'm not intentionally trying to be anti-marriage per se, but I will say this. When you, as a man, start dealing with a woman, it's very important that you learn about her history, right? And I'll be honest, sometimes we don't want to ask those questions because we think it's best not to know, all right? And I hear you. But in 2026, you got to have at least a good enough picture to say, okay, I learned a little something. And that way you can make the choice whether you want, how you want to proceed forward. But a lot of these women, I'm pointing like that shit's still up there on the screen. A lot of these women are poor decision makers. They led with their feelings. Now, I want you to put a pin in that. They lead with their feelings. And this is a lot of the stuff that we see dealing with marriage. Let me get to the gents. I'm gonna give y'all a shout out real quick. I got to run through this again. We're on a time frame here, but I want to see who we got up in the house. Thank you to everyone who was here. If you're new into the stream, make sure you hit that like button on the way in. Let me know that you're here. If you want to be a sponsor of tonight's video, whether it be just a Cash App or a super chat, any of those things, grateful, not required. But by sponsoring these videos, you help out live streamers like myself to continue to be able to do this type of work. All right. And shout out to the gents that continue to support this channel from day one. Thank you so much, gents. And I'm going to go up to the top. Again, I'm going to try to run through this. Preston, what up? Shaun C, TSG, Big Homie in the Uncut Player City. Peeps, Preston, thank you for being here. Preston, I'm going to have to skip through some of these. I apologize. Hold on, I'm going to catch this one. Shout out to you, Big Homie, and everyone in the chat, TSG City. Appreciate you. He says, we done shooting a shot with the walking head trip death plot. All right. XL Pro, shout out to you, brother. Thank you so much. Thank you. Make sure y'all go check out XL Pro, the work that he does over there. I hope you don't mind me shouting out your Instagram. I know you do work and stuff like that. You have an Instagram profile, so please go over there and check them out. Thank you so much, brother. Appreciate you. Sensei Shaun C, brother, homie, TSG, always killing it. Oh, wait till you hear tonight. These are a little bit longer videos tonight, but I promise you, the insight that I hope you gain from this, whether you choose that, marriage is a thing, and I say marriage in quotes because you might have to consider your own brand of marriage, vice state sponsored. That's my mentality. Okay, I'm not doing state sponsored marriage again. If there's a way to get around it, if there's a way for us to, write our own contracts, whatever, I'm amicable to that. But I refuse to lose everything again. That's where I'm at. Okay. So tonight we're gonna learn a lot. I promise you. Mark, he said we are listening. Thank you so much, Mark. I appreciate you. All right. So Luke Chat, thank you, XL Pro. Edward, shout out to you. He says, sup, people. Sup, Edward, what's going on? Shout out to Corey, man. Corey says, evening, everyone. Thank you for being a member or a member of the channel, Corey. Thank you so much, brother. All right, give it a shout out. Professor Muscles on the hustle. So my son is here, man, and we working out every day that I normally work out. He's in the gym putting in the work too. And last year he only got about a week and a half. This year we got a whole month to work together for him to be able to, get that experience, know how to go into the gym and know exactly what to do. And that's what the plan is. When I was his age, when I was 16, when I showed up to school for my junior year, I had been working out the whole summer. And I had got a number of compliments like, yo, what you been up to? Not that I was some huge dude, but you can clearly see now that I had muscle definition because I had been putting in that work. He's the same age. He's going into his junior year. I want him to do the same thing, right? So, and it's hot. This is Vegas, right? So I need a new haircut. I'm doing that shit tomorrow or Friday or one of them damn days, okay? I just didn't feel like doing it. I haven't even shaved, bro. I shave the same day I do all the haircut stuff. So we want to hear the pros and cons of marriage. We're listening. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate that, man. He said, Uprise again. What up, my brothers? Uprise, thank you so much for being here. Shout out to Adam. He said, I would say marriage doesn't make much sense in modern countries anymore. No, in modern countries, you don't. And we might need to expand this topic one of these times, and that's on me. But we need to expand the marriage topic to the modern Western countries and to other countries. Because I heard some statistics. I can't remember whose show it was on. It was on Manosphere Highlights Daily. Shout out to Manosphere Highlights Daily. He played a clip where it talked about the happiest countries in the world. And that made me realize when I heard why they're so happy in those countries, obviously is the policies that help to work toward making everyone better. Those countries are the happiest countries in the world. And they're willing to pay a little bit more for that happiness. But their happiness doesn't center around this goddamn phone all the time. It centers around the connections. Those countries are the happiest countries. They have the happiest indexes, the one that focuses on friends, family, connection, people. And that's what we try to do here on TSG Uncut. Big Esco. Hey, is that my cousin? Is that my cousin and Unc? Yo, what's up, cuz? Me and Unc watching right now. Okay. This is my family in the house. Thank y'all so much, man. I appreciate y'all for watching. All right. Marriage, your down payment to losing everything. Brandon, I hear you. And listen, it's not my job. My job tonight is not to change your mind on marriage. My job today is to talk about what's wrong with it, the things that we have problems with. And until these things get solved, it's not going to make sense for us men to go ahead with it, okay? Where am I missing this super chat at? Way down at the bottom. Oh, let me get to my super chat. Shout out to Corey for the $10 holler. He said, what it do, bro? Nothing much, bro. Nothing much. Let me, you are the first sponsor of tonight's live stream. Let me go ahead and get you down on there, Corey. Thank you so much, man. Everything helps. Again, you all are the one reason this show is continued. Last month we hit 6 years on YouTube last month, right? So 6 years, that's crazy. Like, that's a whole enlistment in the military. Whole enlistment. That's how long I've been doing it. That is insane. By this time, when I was in my military career, I was already like an E6, right? I was a first class petty officer, right? I did that in 5 years. But the point being is, it's just crazy to me, right? Where I was at in my career 6 years in. Now I've been retired for 8 years. That's crazy too. All right, let's get you back up there. Thank you so much, Corey. I appreciate you. All right. All right, I got to run through these so I can make sure I get everybody. Where are we at? Where are we at? Where are we at? Plugger the Plumber, New Orleans in the building. Shout out to you, Plugger, man. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate you for being here. I don't know if you saw my comment on talking to Red Bones down in New Orleans when I told you they were trouble. Them Red Bones down in New Orleans to get your ass in trouble, man. You'll hit the millions in no time, brother, homie TSG. You know what, man? Thank you so much, Preston, but I don't really care about having 1 million subscribers because that don't matter in YouTube. What matters in YouTube is that you have the constant support from the people that watch the channel. You know what I'm saying? What up, Neff? This Unc. Hey, Unc, what's going on, man? So grateful that you're here today, man. Thank you so much. If y'all don't know, man, it was my Unc who went down to Mexico and he told me about this little spot called Playa. And I said, you know what? When I decided to move to Mexico, I spent a month in Cancun and I was like, you know what? Cancun is cool, but it's so far to get to everything. I'm too big to be on the goddamn bus. So I was like, let me go check out this Playa thing. And I'm going to tell you, Playa was amazing. Playa was absolutely amazing. And I can't say enough about it. That's all I'm going to say about that. Can't say enough about it. Shout out to my uncle, though. My fellow Big Easy. Yep, that's right, man. I'm that 504, baby. Look, I'm so excited about the Saints this year, but I don't want to get started because if you start getting me talking about the Saints, man, I'll be here all day. Get your eat on. No, I had to just make sure that my son didn't burn up the macaroni. So he ain't much of a cooker. Thank y'all for letting me know about the thank y'all for letting me know where we at on this. How many more we got? A woman is marriage material before you put a ring on her finger. Right here. That's absolutely it. Why would he deal with you in the first place? Oh, y'all were listening to all the ladies. Okay. All right. I'm sorry. I'm going to skip through this. Shout out to King. No sneaky links in other countries. Depends on where you at. Edward says, absolutely. I don't care how they feel. I'm asking everything I want to, including their age. Okay. Okay. I didn't see the full video. Crease Man, shout out to you. He said, Crease Man reporting for duty. Man, great to see you. Thank you for being here tonight. I appreciate you. All right. My brother, what the women that are interested in, Roberto says, my brother, what the women that are interested one day, cold the next. Why all these mind games? Okay, I got you. Yeah. They're interested one day, they cold the next, and they got the mind games. We're going to talk about that. So hold on to that. Okay. Just tuned in, Singer, great to see you. Thank you for being here. Another one of my members, thank you for being here. Hey, Kelvin, man, what's going on? He said, I'm a happily married man. If I wasn't married, marriage is like a contract as I see it because modern women see the status of what you got. Absolutely. And that's why I said, if you go through state-sponsored marriage, then it's not a fair contract, right? So you have to be willing to set the terms and the boundaries on your own contract. That's allowed. You can write your own business contract, and that's your marriage. A name can be changed. I changed my name. My letters, A and U, were switched on my birth certificate. And I've been writing my name as AUN the whole time. So I had to do a few things, go to court, submit some papers, change my name legally to the way I always have spelled it. Nothing. That can happen with a last name too, that quick. So it's cap to say that you can't still get married. Okay? Exactly. She has to show that she's capable of being a wife before she can become one. I think that's the perfect way to end it in the intro. I want to get started with our first real video. Oh, no. Don't do it. Damn it, I stopped sharing. Jesus Christ. I'm sorry. I had a slip and I messed up. All right, there we go. There's a little button on the bottom and I got a little too quick on hitting that. So that was the perfect segue into tonight's first video. First of all, thank you all for being here tonight. Make sure y'all hit that like button. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel as we are trying to reach 60,000 subscribers. Eventually, I want to hit that 100,000, right? So that when y'all look in the background, I got the silver play plaque, okay? Look, I know that people say subscribers don't matter, but they do to me because you've been here 6 years. You wanted acknowledgement for the amount of work and time that you put in to get here, right? So, first video tonight. This is a story that they're going to be talking about on this podcast. I want you to hear this because this is a boyfriend. This is a conversation between a boyfriend and his girlfriend. She wants marriage. He's just giving her questions. The reason why I think this is pertinent to start off this conversation with, because there are a lot of men who get pressured into marriage. I want you to hear this conversation and hear how he used logic in order to make his point. All right?
With my boyfriend, 35 male, just said to me. Quick little background. I've been with my boyfriend for about 4 years now. He's a wonderful man, and we've had a great relationships with lots of ups and very few downs. Any disagreements that we did have, we tend to solve very quickly. I desperately wanted to get married, and he doesn't. I see marriage as the next logical step and something that will cement our relationship. Plus, I find the concept of being a 50-year-old girlfriend humiliating, honestly.
Listen, real quick, I'm sorry I'm going to stop it here, but I just want to make sure we catch the bases. That's a conversation that you're going to have, especially if you're talking about us. Most of us are 30, 35 and older, right? 30 and above that watch this channel. And you start being older and you have a girlfriend, and that girlfriend ship is taking like years. Okay. She's been your girlfriend for years. And for them, that feels embarrassing because what's the end goal of women? It's to be a wife. It's to be a wife. They can sit here and talk about we don't need men, blah, blah, blah. But if she is a straight woman, eventually she is going to want marriage. And the problem is what we're seeing and what I've seen through, thousands and thousands of videos I've seen, plus personal experience and from all the people that I know and met. At the end of the day, as soon as women tend to get marriage, as soon as they get the marriage and that honeymoon phase is over, it's almost like real life hits their ass right in the face, like the Acme Anvil or some shit like that. And then they all of a sudden like, yeah, I don't think I want to do this no more. Anyway, we'll get to that.
He sees marriage as nothing more than an unnecessary risk. So he personally has had many friends and families who've had their lives damaged through divorce. He trades stocks and does other stuff in finance for a living. And I work part-time as a social worker at a local hospital. He is generous with his money and takes good care of me. I recently brought up my desire for marriage, and his response was verbatim: a risk necessitates a reward, and a massive risk necessitates a massive reward. That is the first rule of finance, and the greater the risk, the greater the required rate of return. He asked me what he would gain from marrying me, and to which I responded, he would get me. He asked,
I really like this.
Oh, stop. That right there, that's the audacity of modern women today. These same women that when you ask them, like, why do you rate yourself? Right? Like, oh, I'm a 10, right? They all 10s. They all perfect. I saw a woman I saw a clip from No Fugazi podcast, and the woman was on the couch sitting there with rolls. I mean, she was sitting there and them rolls looked like a damn wave pool. All right. That's how it was rippling. Right. And then she had the nerve to say, oh, no, I'm a 10. So the dude was like, well, you don't have any room to improve? No, I don't think so. Not talking about emotionally or like physically. You don't think there's nothing to improve? She's like, no, I'm perfect. And like, you can tell he was like, ma'am, not trying to just knock you because you have roles, but you're not like in perfect shape right now. You are probably obese. Most Americans are. And you have the audacity to sit here and be like, I'm a 10. No, there's nothing I need to improve on myself. You can't work with somebody who don't think they have the capacity to improve. Trust me when I say, being in the military for 20 years, having hundreds, actually over 2,000 sailors have worked for me directly and indirectly over the course of my 20-year career, more than 2,000. At the end, I had 200 people. If everybody was perfect, if you allow people to believe, hey, they are perfect and they have no room to grow, that's when you're going to have the most problems. The reason why you don't hear about incidents in the military, or I would definitely say in the Navy and the way we operate the ships, is because you cannot operate with the belief that you have nothing to work on and improve. Because if you think you're here, you're destined to fall. You always have to have something you're shooting for. So why do I bring this up? I bring this up because this type of conversation that this woman had with him, right? Where he was talking about, hey, look, you got me. That's how they are. You got me. And like, the balls of you just to be like, I'm enough. Well, what do you do? But I'm here. Isn't that enough? No, it's not. If I needed a peace sleeve just hanging around, yeah, I said it. I told y'all I was going to bring it back in the video. Peace sleeve. If I needed just a peace sleeve, I could just pay for that. Why do I need you to just be sitting around here? I can find a pretty girl to be around here. At least she will leave. At least she will leave. Anyway, let's finish this. Wait till you hear the conclusion.
I really like this dude. I really do.
Yeah, seemingly rhetorically. Don't I already have you? Are you suggesting that you will leave me if I don't marry you? And then without really thinking, I just said,
Listen.
it was a possibility. So he sat quietly for a few seconds at that moment. Then he said, well, if you're willing to leave me now, when you get
Listen
nothing,
up.
you will definitely leave me when you get everything.
Oh,
he
boom.
He
Boom.
then got up from his seat, gave me a hug, and said something to the extent of, I guess you have some things to think about. I don't really remember what he said because I was so stunned in that moment, and he simply just walked out the door. So my question is, what the hell do I even say?
The fact, let's go back to the end of this real quick. Hold on, I'm going to try to clip it without. Let me put that. Her question was, what do I say? Please bear with me when I try to explain this. So hopefully y'all, like, I know y'all understand, but just bear with me for 1 second. What do I say? Is that your question, ma'am? What do I say? You totally right over her goddamn head. She has no clue what he was trying to say. He literally was like, if you're even entertaining the possibility of leaving me if we don't get married, then why am I here? Why am I telling y'all that? Because inevitably, some of you might be listening to me right now and you might be contemplating marriage. And I want you to remember what was said in the very beginning of this. She said they get along really well. They don't really argue, or they can get through any type of arguments. This seems to be a major sticking point, this conversation. And you told him in the middle of his conversation that if marriage isn't on the table, you would leave? Tell you something, gents. If a woman is really there for you, I'm not saying she's not going to want marriage. And I'm not saying that you don't have some obligation to show some level of commitment to her if you're going to be there for a long time. But what I'm going to say is her response is kind of typical of modern women today, if you really think about it. Why is it, ladies, talking to the ladies now. Why is it that you all can have everything going well? The dude that was in this story, she said that he takes care of her. He makes good money. He takes care of her. They don't have arguments. Everything is normally good. Here's my question for you ladies, right? Why is that not enough? If you go back to the beginning of this stream, I let some clips play with women talking about their regrets. I told you that that first video was going to set the tone. You have a bunch of women who made irrational decisions, emotional decisions that has led to them being single and alone here in 2026. And here in a little bit, come 2030, more than half of dating women are going to be single and childless. Why isn't it enough for y'all? Have y'all ever asked yourself that question? Have you ever asked why it's not enough to have the man that's doing everything for you, there emotionally for you? Hell, men are even cooking now and doing domestic work. I don't want to hear this bullshit about, oh, men don't do they half of the work. Shut up. Shut up. Shut y'all ass up. Because I'm going to tell you right now, there's too many stories that I've put out on this channel showing that men are helping out around there and it's not enough. Come on, man. Don't y'all not gonna sit here and run that game and talk about this shit is like, oh, men don't do nothing. They just think we slaves. Shut that shit up. Shut that up. Every dude I know can cook. Every dude I know can cook. I don't want to hear that shit. Y'all can't even use that excuse. Go watch the beginning of this clip. If you haven't been here, go watch the beginning of this later on and see what them women were saying. Had a good man, left a good man. Why is it never enough for y'all? I want to hear what y'all got to say about it. I'm going to run through some of these clips and we'll get to the next story. Kelvin says, these modern women see marriage on TV and see the life of glitz and glamour, and they're looking at an opportunity to take everything from them. Right on. Edward says, women care more about the ceremony and the ring and the celebration more than they actually care about the person that they're marrying. Absolutely. Ladies, any ladies listening to this, I want you to hear this because this is what men think that they see. This is what they feel. Right? Y'all want to say, well, y'all don't care about what we feel. This is how men feel. Process that shit. Let it help you. Okay? Ice Penguin, shout out to you. Thank you for being here. He said, you said it. Everything a man does is still not enough. You're right. I don't pity the fool. How you going to Mr. T quote us right now? Come on now. We done being the monkey simp pet wallet chips for a walk-in jizz book. Oh, Preston, that's funny. King, shout out to you. He said, want to hear something infuriating? Every woman that I said to a woman, or everything that I said to a woman that isn't enough for her. I'm missing something there. Big got mad and tried to flip it on me like I was the one complaining and asking for more. King, I want you to keep this in mind because we're going to talk about something like this in one of the clips later on, okay? So I will address this, but you'll see. Stay tuned, you'll see. Singer says, when she said why she wanted to marry him, she described everything he does for her. And when she describes why he shouldn't want to marry her, she said nothing. Yes, damn good observation. She describes everything that he does for her. And when she describes why he should want to marry her, she had nothing but saying, I'm just here. Ladies, I mean, really think about that shit. If a man, let's flip it. Singer, let's use your example. For any ladies listening, that's like when a man come up to you at a bar or, whatever, try to talk to you. He's making his pitch. And imagine during that pitch, he said, you ask him to buy you a drink or something like that. And he said, no, I'm not going to buy you a drink. I'm just enough. I'm here. Why do I need to buy you a drink? I'm here. Yo, if you would literally turn your back on that dude, you would say something smart and sassy about that dude. There is no way a man can walk up to a woman and sit there and say, why I gotta do anything for you? I'm here. I'm not saying he need to buy you a drink at all. I'm just saying, imagine he used that excuse. You're not gonna talk to him. You know why? Because saying that you're here is just enough is not enough. What do you bring to the table? And I hate to use that, but it's true. I'm going to tell this story. How my woman got me to really realize that she's a special, beautiful person. She said something to me, and I've said it. If you've watched this channel, you've heard this. My woman said to me, she said, look, I want to be the type of woman for you that fills your cup. I don't want to take away from it. And I was shocked in the moment, but I hadn't really processed it. But when I had time to process what she said to me later, let me tell you what I came across, gents. I want to be the type of woman that fills your cup, not take away from it. I'm like, holy shit. But that wasn't enough. It's not enough that she said that to me. You know what really blew me away? When I thought about everything that we had been through and all the times I needed her, everything that we had experienced, I couldn't think of one time where she was trying to take away from my cup. I couldn't think of it. I couldn't think of a time that my woman was like, yeah, I need this and I need you to do that. But there was not one time. And then I did another exercise, which I never said to anybody and probably didn't tell her. And if she's watching, she's about to hear it. But I had to do another exercise. I started thinking about the other women in my life. Unc was in the house, so Unc was the one that kind of got my head going in the right direction. But I started thinking about all the other women. They all took away from my cup in some way, shape, or form, fashion. Sorry, let me rephrase this. If they were someone that I was seeing seriously for a period of time, all those women took away from my cup one way or the other. All those women put me in scenarios in which I'm going to take accountability that I compromised my own values to be with them. I compromised who I was. I took from my cup and poured it into theirs, and then wasn't mad enough when it wasn't a reciprocal give and take in terms of filling each other's cup, in terms of keeping each other going. Sorry I took a little time to tell y'all that, but I feel it's important because if you're dealing with a woman and she takes away from your cup and she doesn't fill it, she's not wife material, period. End of story. If she takes away from your cup and doesn't fill it, it's not a wife. It's not what wives do. Even the Bible talks about women multiplying. They're supposed to come in your life to help multiply those things, or they're going to cause you sorrow, one or the other. But a real wife, her value is more than rubies. You're not going to find rubies just sitting out in the goddamn streets. They're rare. They're hard to find. They're not easily accessible to everybody. That's what you're looking for. This woman couldn't think of one damn reason other than she's there on why this man should marry her. And he did the best thing you could do. He just walked out the room calmly. He didn't get in his emotions. Nah, he didn't do that shit. Nah, he wasn't having that. He just said he gave her something to think about and he walked out. And she didn't get it because her dumb ass question right here.
Because I was so stunned in that moment and he simply just walked out the door. So my question is, what the hell do I even say?
What did she even say? I'm here from y'all. Never lower your standards to fit into a crowd. Yep. Men now these days have to think about marriage, especially when he built something before he met her. And it'll distract if it ends in divorce. So you'll never know what modern women want. We're going to talk about, let's talk about it now, since it's early on in the live stream. We're going to talk about this at the end because this is a divorce story. And the divorce story is the very last clip. And what the woman goes through in the car, I feel for her and I don't feel for her. But I've also been in her shoes just as a man. But the only thing I'm going to say to kind of answer or talk about what Kelvin said is, if you've worked hard to build something, there's an amount of absorption you can do. Like when I had these divorces, I was like, you know what? I lost it all before. I can get it again. I'm going to tell y'all something, man. I'm creeping up on 50, right? I can't start over again. I don't have the energy to start over again. I don't. So to the dudes that get married, 3, 4, 5, 6 times, maybe you can do it because you got money and you don't have to fall as far. But when I make okay money, but if I had to fall again, that restart at this age, I just don't have it. And these are the things that men have to contemplate when they talk about getting married. I don't have the energy to do it. So why would I put myself in that situation? I wouldn't, I'm 54. Yeah, man, that's hard. Like, if you had to start over at 54, man, that's a lot. It's a lot. Man, filling or taking away from a man's cup when really thought about it is a great way to reset alone. Right? I'm not doing this shit for you, especially when I don't know you, right? Let me catch a couple more. Stephen Jackson was smart enough to tell a woman, refused to sign the prenup. He left her quickly. He never looked back. Well done. Yeah, Stephen Jackson did do that. Yes, he did. Where we at on time? Okay. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna be able to catch every comment. I'm gonna try to catch as many as I can, right? Let me show y'all something real quick. I'm about to pull my, I just want to show y'all something I came across before we get to the next clip. Because as we get to the next clip, we're gonna go into, that was the before marriage. The conversations we're gonna have after this are gonna be inside of the marriage. Just a few things that I highlighted that I saw that I want to talk about here on the channel. But before we get there, I want to show y'all this. Right? This is the marriage rate in 2026. It's approximately 5.1 marriages per 1,000 people, reflecting a continued decline to record lows. Now, let me tell you, I first looked at divorce rates in 2026. Believe it or not, divorce rates are down. All right. But even this thing acknowledges, because there is a drop in marriage rates, there's also a drop in divorce rates. All right. But there is something that I found very interesting, and I look like I didn't screenshot that. So let me read through some of this. Just bear with me a second. In 2026, the total number of marriages in the United States is around 1.6 million. Let's call it 1.7 million, with a marriage rate of 5.1 per 1,000 people, down from 6.1 per 1,000 people only 7 years ago, marking the lowest rate since records began, listen, in 1867. This decline reflects broader societal trends, including delayed marriage, cohabitation without marriage, changing societal norms. approximately 49% of U.S. households are married couples, a significant drop from 80% 70 years ago. Now, before I read any further, I don't need to tell any of you all know the statistics. You all know that Black people had the highest marriage rates of all demographics just 70 years ago. Okay, we were married more, right? And then 70 years ago, right, you had all these things that promoted men not being in the house, men not being around. Government started pretty much giving checks to women. You had job, you had, factories starting to shut down. You had the, Reaganomics, you had the crack epidemic, you had all of these things. And let's not kid ourselves. This shit was purposely done. This wasn't, let me say this a different way. And this is my opinion, okay? You cannot convince me, you cannot convince Shaun C. that this was not done on purpose. You cannot convince me that. You cannot convince me that with everything going on, that these people don't want, they even tell you that they want to, they used to say, oh, we have to worry about declining birth rates. They don't care. In their minds, there are too many people on this planet. Now, I don't want to go into too deeper than that. But the reason why I say that is to say, there are people who don't want us to be together. And this is like across races. Yeah, we can definitely say in the Black community they do not care about that. But what I'm saying is these people feel like there's too many people on the planet. If there's too many people, there's too many chances that people going to snatch them up out of their houses, that they're going to, do what that kid did and took out that CEO, that healthcare CEO, right? The kid the young Italian kid that took out that CEO. They don't want that to happen. And so when women aren't truly committed to being with their men, when they just go with their feelings, you are perpetuating a system designed to hold us back, hold us down, and keep us from being together. Everything in today's society is about not connecting with people. People don't want to talk to each other. People are just on their phones. Shit, I showed my son in the gym today. I said, look, son, I promise you, if we go into the gym, I promise you, I said, I bet you X amount of dollars that we're going to walk in the gym, somebody going to be sitting on a machine looking at their phone longer than they worked out on the machine. He said, I'm not going to win that bet. I said, I know. That's the point. The point is, we don't connect. The only people connecting is I still talk to older people. I see older people still talking. But what happens when that generation leaves? What's going to happen? Hell, we got people, and I'm just no shade to y'all, but some of y'all don't even want to go talk to any women. Y'all don't want to go talk to people. You're like, man, I don't even want to deal with these women. I get it. I'm not knocking you for your decision. That's not the way I was raised, right? My grandma was like, how you doing? How you doing? My mom is that way now. She's getting older too. How you doing? How you feeling today? They raised me to talk to folk. It used to be embarrassing when I was younger. We don't even talk to each other now. So when you look at this, nobody's talking to each other. This thing says the median age at first marriage continues to rise, with women marrying around 28 and 29 and men 30 to 31. So now people are marrying later. Marriage rate vary by race and education. It says college graduates are more likely to marry than those with lower education attainment. That makes sense because you have college, you're starting to go work for these businesses. Some places won't even promote you if you don't have a significant other. They won't even talk or mess with you. All right? So, but people who are higher educated aren't having as many kids. So what are we seeing? We're seeing this birth decline from that demographic. They're not making enough babies, right? 58%, among unmarried adults, 58% express a desire to marry in the future. Just like I've polled on this channel. Y'all wouldn't mind finding somebody. You just don't believe that you are going to find someone. You just don't think it's possible here in these states. You don't think that there is marriage viable material in modern Western societies. I get it. Financial stability is a major factor influencing marriage decisions. And think about how the economy is today. Think about gas prices and grocery prices. Think about everything we're going through. We can feel the rising prices. I felt it when I moved back. When I moved back to the States from Mexico, inflation hit me like I was doing well before. When I got back, boom, inflation hit me. I was like, holy shit, I'm broke. I had a couple emergencies and then I was broke. I was literally robbing Peter to pay Paul. I wasn't doing that shit before I left. When I came back, I was. So how is anybody supposed to get married? Oh, well, you got to make it 6 figures. Stop lying. Most people don't make that much fucking money. Most people are fucking average, period. Walk through an airport, walk through a crowd of people, average. That's the truth. All this, I'm a 10, I'm a 10. Everyone is average. Most people are average. Marriage rates differ slightly. I'm not going to go there. I just want to read this last part and we'll move on. The decline in marriage rates is accompanied by a drop in divorce rates, meaning that couples who do marry are more likely to stay together. All right. The average length of a marriage is 19.9 years, with some states like Maine and West Virginia reporting longer lasting marriages of 22.3 years. Social and economic factors, including financial stability, cohabitation, and changing cultural attitudes, continue to shape marriage patterns in the U.S. Overall, marriage in the U.S. is becoming less common, occurring later in life, increasingly influenced by personal, financial, regional factors, while stability of existing marriages have improved. So it says that the people that are marrying are staying together, right? At least that's what it's saying. But there's something that's not being talked about. And I forgot to get it. I forgot to capture this. But one thing that this statistic or this thing did wind up saying is gray divorces out of all marriages are higher than all the other marriage demographics. Gray divorces are up, meaning people that are 50 and over are getting divorced at the highest rates in society. So people aren't getting married. The ones who do are typically staying together unless you're older and then they're leaving. Think about that for a second. The people who are supposed to know the old ways of staying together are saying, you know what? I don't want to be in a marriage anymore. They're done. You know, a lot of these women are like, well, I felt like I was forced to get married when I was younger, and now I want to be apart. Then they get online crying about why they can't find an older dude who wants that's, old ass baggage that she coming with. Okay? Dudes don't want that shit. Nobody want that. And yes, sorry, with the gray divorce, I don't think the one I looked at specifically said it, but we know that the initiation of divorce statistically is predominantly done by women. Okay? So Ryan says, I act like most people don't exist. I'll only acknowledge you if I can respect you. Life is too short to be conversing with weak-spirited people. I don't have the bandwidth for bullshit. I get it. Ryan, I'm not knocking you for that. I think that's kind of the issue, ain't it? The issue is that when you go out, people do have a low bandwidth. And I'm not saying you got to be kikiing in their face, Ziggy, office 50%. So I'm not saying that you have to be kikiing in people's face. I'm just saying, just even small interactions. I'm not saying that you got to be best friends with people. I'm just saying interact. That don't have to be that long. It's kind of like touching a tree or touching grass, right? Less annoying, but yeah, like it's just, have that interaction, appreciate it for the moment, and then move on. Women initiated divorce. King homie, women started this shit, so let them finish it. The main problem is no fault divorce in America. Yeah, yeah, that's a whole nother subject. I'm not opening that can of worms. We're not talking about divorce. We're talking about marriage here tonight. So I want to move on to this clip. I want you to hear what this woman has to say. Right? Now, any ladies watching, I want you to hear this because this is one of the things that you all talk about having good men who love you, men who provide. Oh, he was a great man. Excellent. I just wasn't feeling it anymore. I want you to know that this, what you're about to hear, is a lot more common. And this is how you tear your man down without even realizing that's what you're doing. Check it out.
If you want a guy to do nice things for you, let me give you a little bit of advice of what not to do for the younger ladies. When I moved in with my ex-husband, he came home from work one evening with a dozen red roses. And instead of being like, wow, how amazing, that's so sweet, there was no reason. He was just being really sweet. And my self reacted with, why'd you get me red roses? You know I don't like roses. Peonies are my favorite flower. Lo and behold, he never got me flowers again, and rightfully so.
She got the dozen red roses, and she was kind of a bitch about it. Like, oh, why roses? Right? I don't like roses. This is my other favorite flower. Why would you don't know me at all, right? Does he not know me? Like all that trippy stuff. And the guy never bought her flowers again, rightfully so. She says, in her words, rightfully so. So women, be grateful, be gracious.
I want to know in the chat, put a 1 in the chat if you've ever had a woman that you've done something for, and then she had some snarky comment or something that pretty much erased the good you were trying to do, right? I'm saying that you were genuinely in your heart thinking about her, and you did something for her, and she was not grateful for it. Put a 1 in the chat. Oh, look at that. We already got some 1s in the chat, right? I'm there, right? You do something grateful for somebody, Preston, all right? You do something for somebody, Edward, shout out to you. You do something for somebody, they don't appreciate what you're doing. And you know what was crazy? And we can all relate to this. Corey, shout out to you. Corey said it. 0.5. All right, I see you. I see you, sentiment. All right. Cal, I see you. All right. So look at this. Look at the men that are saying that they've been through this. Right? Like, I'm gonna tell you the thing about this story that you all can relate to. That shit really make you don't want to do shit for anybody. Like, you're like, I'm done. Why am I gonna do that to myself when you're just gonna be ungrateful anyway? And then I wish I had put the clip in here just to go with this, but I don't know. Y'all probably have seen the clip with the guy in the garage, and he's sitting in the garage playing with his tools. His wife comes in the garage. She starts nagging him and shit. Talking about, see, you don't even want to come spend time with us. You want to be out here. Why are you out here? The guy that was in his car sleeping, why are you in your car sleeping? They had the guy who had a spool of wire. 40 years he said he had that wire. and it was down to the last bit of that wire. And he had a reflective moment about, damn, 40 years of my life is gone. I bought this 40 years ago. And look at it, you know, and she was like, and so you gonna cry? And the look on his face was like, really? I'm trying to have this reflective moment. If your woman doesn't say, you know, doesn't have something nice to say, like, you know what, baby? Yeah, 40 years is gone, but look at what all you've done. Look at this family that you've built. Look at the work of your hands. Think about all the things we got to do in those 40 years together. Look at what we accomplished together. Think about all the times. Remember we went to whatever? She had an opportunity to take his moment of feeling his age and let him know, hey, look what you've done. Now, I'm a man, so I know that if you bring up, look what you've accomplished. As a man, I got to appreciate that because that's what we're valued by, the work of our hands. The work of our hands, the legacy that we build with these hands. We're going to talk about this a little bit in a second. Let me catch a couple of these clips real quick. In my marriage, we provide for each other's needs. That's awesome, Adam. Appreciate that. Play stupid games, win dumbass prizes. Ninja, did I just catch you in a moment of peace without me? I'm going to just say this, Ryan, you're not wrong. God forbid you having fun without her. Jesus Christ. President says, don't sugarcoat it, brother homie. TSG, women are absolutely effing, mother effing reason why men don't want to marry them, let alone deal with them. I don't play stupid games. Ryan says, birth control pills mess with women's psychology. Mating preferences change drastically, and they also harm women's chances of reproducing. Plus, sprinkle a little effinism and social programming in there. Oh, yeah. You're absolutely correct. I've done videos on this already, so you're right. No matter how small the gesture, my wife was always grateful. That's it. That's it. Even if it's just a small bit of gratefulness. Literally having empathy for the person that you call the person you love. Like, to not even have empathy for the person that you supposedly love, that's crazy. It's crazy work. You think, do it yourself then. You know, right? I would tell her that I don't need ungrateful people in my life. Yeah. 10-ton buffalo wings for arms, BBL drumsticks for. Oh, Preston. Yo, bro, that Trav. Oh, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Shout out to V. V, shout out to you, man. Thank you for being here tonight. Let me show y'all something else. This next clip that I'm about to show y'all. This is the couple that called into a show, and I want you to hear this shit because this is kind of crazy when you think about what this woman about to say.
You are lying. Now you are lying, not just to me, but to these people on the phone. Okay, you didn't talk about money. You weren't talking about money. You were talking about time, and you said that becoming a mom is the biggest regret you have. That you regret that it has ruined your life. That being a parent, being a mother, has ruined your life. That's what you said. I heard you.
Did you say that, Lily?
Listen.
Look, you don't understand. You don't understand. You don't get it, and it's not. This is not what I wanted. None of this is happening the way that I wanted. Like, my body's changed. My life has changed. I can't work. I have no money. This is not how I pictured it happening. And I just don't want to do this anymore.
Oh my goodness.
You know,
hold on. Let me stop it there before I forget this part. She said her body, money. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna tell you where I used to sit at. I get it. Ladies, you have babies, your body changes. It's like, it's all good. Still love you. Well, no, you don't get it. Like, why isn't what I tell you enough? Why isn't what I'm telling you that I don't care, I love you? Why isn't that enough? That's one. He said something about money. I really want you to think about this one. Gents, this is the crazy one. She don't have money. You all get into the workplace and you talk about you want a guy to retire you and stuff like that, right? Or you don't want to work, you want to be a stay-at-home mom. Like when y'all are working, you want to be at home. You want to not have to work. And then when you don't work and you at home, then you complain you ain't got no money. Oh, I didn't get a chance to do all these things. Like, we talked about this. Even with my exes, gents, I gave them the option. I said, look, you could work, you could not work. Okay? I understand why in the beginning it's going to be hard to work because daycare would be a bitch, right? We have to pay, we don't have the money for that. But when the cool kids are all school age, nothing's holding you back. And they choose not to work. They choose to make excuses why they don't want to work. And I'm going to tell you my personal belief. This is just me, but I believe that modern women have to work today. They do. Your woman cannot be at home with nothing to fucking do. I'm sorry. Ladies, you can get mad at me if you want to. I don't give a shit. Y'all are not capable of staying at home and doing nothing. Y'all got too much time in your hands. You fucking be in some fucking emotional death spiral. And then we come home and it's just like, It's like, wait a minute, calm the hell down. I ain't even gotten the door good. And this is the reason you got men that end up sleeping in a damn car. This is why you got men that just want to go sit out in the garage away from your ass. Because y'all are hard to deal with. And then when you are working, then you resent us from you being out there working. How is this a man problem? You all asked for this shit and you don't even know what the hell you want. Let's continue, because this shit is crazy. And hold on, real quick. And not to mention, you regret being a mom? Like, that is insane. You regret being a mom? Gents, this is the really think about it. These women today, I ought to start saving the articles on my phone of these moms who just are flipping out. I just seen an article yesterday where the mom took out the daughter he had with her husband, and took out the stepdaughter. And the stepdaughter liked him. I think she was a little autistic or something. And he was fine with it. This dude was fine being a stepdad to this kid, and they had their kid together. And she took all of them out, and she tried to take a knife and off herself, but she didn't because she couldn't. She was stupid. You're going to take those babies out with a gun, but you take yourself out with a knife. So she's going to jail. And these stories come across my phone like, I just really started collecting this shit like Pokemon. I really should. Every time they come across my phone, I'm going to just save them. And then when I collect enough of them, I'm going to just say, gents, here you go. I don't know if y'all remember, we talked about this live stream in the summer of 2026. And I told y'all every other goddamn month, at least once a month, some mother that did something to some goddamn kid. Yet, if you're a dad and you want your kids to be in your life, God forbid you want your kid to stay with you. God forbid you want to be a father to your goddamn kid. V says, my civil union contract is ironclad. I am the monarch of my home totally. I hear you, V. Project or project? Sentiment says, I couldn't trust an idle woman at home. No, yeah, it's too much time. Too much time to eternal projection. Absolutely. What did that one-legged coach say? You can't give him everything, they'll go crazy. Bait and switch. Albert, shout out to you, Albert. Thank you for being here tonight. Kelvin says, majority of these women want to be like Cardi B, Nicki Minaj on their bougie marriage. Yeah, no. Oh, shit. Kelvin, thank you so much. Y'all said in the comments of my last video, y'all thought that woman that said, oh, I'm on my starter marriage. Y'all, I should play that clip. I'm gonna pull it up here in a little bit. This woman straight up said, I'm on my first marriage was my starter marriage. Yep, here she is right here. I'm gonna get to that clip in a second, but I got it queued up. Oh, the irony, yeah. They're already in chaos. They've lost themselves. Women without a man's leadership, whether father or husband, drift toward chaos. For sure. She'll end up cheating on you. Come on now. These women are always acting like victims, but in the words of great Ricardo Tubbs of Miami Vice, ain't no victims, just volunteers. God dang. How you gonna hit us with a singer? How you gonna hit us with Miami Vice? Looks fade over time, only leaving the heart. Yeah. Don't waste energy on negative people. All right. We catch a couple more, we'll get to the next clip. Maybe she ran out of bullets. Ain't that some shit, right? I've been going over the data showing the rise of neuroticism in women due to psychology, ignoring due to bias. Man, let me tell you, you start going down that path, it's too easy. They won't even acknowledge that shit though. Shout out to Johnny, man. He said, name one society that a feminist could have built. Yo, I seen somebody ask that question and they still found a way to avoid talking about that shit. Still found a way to be like, well, y'all are the problem. Like, okay. And then when you say, well, men won't be around, and be like, good. It's like, do you realize none of this shit will function? You all will fucking die. You all can't even survive on a damn deserted island by yourself. Women's heinous crimes are never reported well or at all, i.e. educational system perversion. Oh. First of all, sentiment, let me just tell y'all real quick. What sentiment just said, it's not even just the mothers that take out their kids that come across my phone. The amount of women, and we're not going to see it for a few months, but the amount of women that are getting busted for sleeping with these kids. Yo, tell me y'all haven't seen that in the news or in articles. King, I'm surprised you and I haven't shared that yet. I'm surprised I haven't sent it to you, but holy shit. If they're not taking out their own kids, they sleeping with kids. Like, what is going on? And it's kind of what me and P say on Partners in Crime. Women have started becoming the men that they detested. I don't know whether it's increased testosterone. I don't know if it's due to the hormones. I don't know what is causing it. But the shit that they accused us of, the stuff that they used to have problems with back in the 80s and the 90s, right? Early 2000s, especially when the rom-coms came out. But we're staying like for those 30 years. They used to always on Oprah talking about how bad men are, still talking about how bad men are today. They are doing the exact shit that they said that we do. Make that shit make sense, man. Seriously. Hey, Lord Zed, shout out to you. Thank you for being here. Industry women and TikTok are the reason why these women are screwed up. Yes, ladies, women are keeping y'all single. Hey, Lord Zed, there was, I don't know if you heard, but there was the influencer who, and I talked about this the other day or last week, but there was an influencer who had been telling the girls, don't get married, F these men, you could be single on your own. She just announced on TikTok or social media that she got engaged. She got a lot of backlash for it. She's been telling women for years not to worry about men and not to get married. But yet I'm the enemy because I'm telling y'all this shit. You're going to learn more from watching this channel than you are from most of these women channels out there. the ones that are supposedly, pro women. You're not going to learn shit from them. Shout out to those sisters that are, telling the truth, and they're catching all the backlash. The ones who are telling the truth. There's a bunch of them. Y'all know them. But those women who tell the truth and getting all this hate from other women, y'all keep telling the truth, sisters. All right? Sentiment says just volunteers. About right. A wonderland on crack. They never fought the wars nor built anything. Johnny, that's the point. They think that, oh, well, you're not going to be here. We already got everything. How do you think this shit runs? Man, look. All right, y'all outpacing me on the comments. Let me, let's get back to this real quick.
Finally, Lily, at least finally now you're being honest,
Oh,
okay?
my goodness.
You wanted to talk, at least now you're admitting the truth, which is that this is just something that you did not want.
A lot of pain there.
Now I see where Brian
a
is
lot
coming
of pain
from.
there. But, I mean, as a mom, it sounds like there might be some postpartum depression going
It could
on.
be.
I think you should try to seek some medical help there, though. We really feel for you guys. Really feel for you guys. Brian, we're sorry this is happening. She was here to apologize to you. She loves you. Are you willing to let her off the hook?
How? How can I let her off the hook? Do you understand that becoming a father, being a dad to our kid has been the greatest joy of my life, and it's just something that you regret. You don't want it? Well, let me tell you something, Lily, and I'm being strictly very honest and sincere right now when I say this. If you don't want to do this anymore, okay, if you want to back out, if this is all too much for you, guess what? We don't need you.
Give me my kids.
I will work as hard as I need to. I will make all the money. I don't care what it costs. I don't care about the struggles. I don't care about the uphill battle. I will do it. And we would love it if you would want to do it too. But if you don't, we won't miss you.
Bye.
Lily, you want to lie?
Sorry about that. Let me tell you something. Oh my God. There are more men who expressed that, what that man just said at the end. There are more men out there that talk like that now. Shit, that needs to be one of my upcoming videos. Probably not quite yet, but we're getting there, okay? But we need to talk about that shit. There are more men that like, give me my kids. If you're going to sit here and complain about these goddamn kids, if you're going to complain about our kids, give me my kids. We'll be fine. Go ahead. Go ahead and be a 304. Go ahead and live your best life. Just give me my kids. Just give me my fucking kids. Please. Gents, I asked for my goddamn daughters when they were 15 years old. They came out to Hawaii to visit their dad for the summer. And then they're out there with me. And, I was like, man, this was great. And I want more this time. So I told my ex, I said, listen, you've done a great job with the girls. How about I'm on land. I'm not going back out to sea. So I'll be home every day. I don't have like 24-hour duty anymore. Why don't you allow them to come live with me for the remainder of high school? I will continue to pay you full child support. I'll even pay to send them to come see you. Just allow me to have that time. That way you can go ahead and do what you want to do. Gents, that woman told me that would be too easy for them. What? What do you mean that would be too easy for them? What do you mean that would be too easy? Let me tell you something I've learned over this time, gents, what that really meant and what it really means for a lot of these women. Sorry, this is a touchy subject for me, so please bear with me. They would rather see the kids suffer than for them to go with you and for those kids to thrive. They would rather see those kids with them than to thrive with you because their egos can't handle it. I want you to remember what I just said. Their egos can't handle that shit. It's going to come up in one of these videos, come up here soon. Oh, 3 videos from now, it'll come up about ego. And then I had to adjust my plans based upon that. Because had they come live with me, I would have we would not be having this conversation. I would have went back into engineering when I retired. I would have paid for them to go to college. They'd already be out of college, 6 years ago, right? And or 4 years ago, whatever you want to call it. Sorry, I had the time wrong. They'd already be out of college 4 years, 4 years. I would have paid for it all. I would have helped them with their grades to get better grades into college. I graduated near the top of my class, man. And I was an athlete. And I was a tutor. And I was a teacher in the military. I was an instructor. I taught engineering. Give me my kids. I will help them be what they need to be. So fast forward. So I changed my plans up. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to go into engineering. I'm going to take a little break. I'm going to go do some other stuff because I want to find out what it's like to be. I just want to live again. So I did. So I went to bartending school and started YouTube 6 years ago. And I had all these other plans. I was supposed to go work at a nuclear power plant. That's what I was supposed to go do. Right? I changed those plans up. And when shortly after graduation, I get a call from their mom. One of my daughters, she stays with her boyfriend, still with the dude. So got to give her credit. I was like, hey, you're an adult. It's your choice. I'm actually kind of proud. You're doing your thing. Y'all still together? I'm okay with that. Whatever. My other daughter, though, as soon as it wasn't convenient for her to be at home, my ex was like, she need to come live with you now. Wait a minute. Now that I'm not paying you child support, now all of a sudden you're kicking her out your house. She got to come stay with me. But when I was willing to pay you child support for them to come stay with me before they graduated, that wasn't good enough. If my daughters ever watch this video, I don't hate your mom. I'm not mad at my exes. I don't have that. I've gotten rid of all that. But I will say, it's the reason why I'm not their friend. I don't have to be friends with my exes. If you think less of me for me to have my kids and to spend time with my kids, I can forgive you for a lot of things, but I don't have to have you in my life. These are the tough choices that you're going to make if you decide to get married. If you decide to have kids with somebody, these are the choices that as a divorced man, you're going to have to make. As a father trying to co-parent. Right? Let's switch the tone a little bit. We don't get a chance to hear relationship. we don't get a chance to hear a bunch of accountability stories. Actually, I'm going to catch some comments first. Yes, exactly. Thank you, V. Johnny, shout out to you. He said, that's a loser thing to break up a family. Bro, it's all about the money. Hell, I offered the money, though. So if money was the issue, I was still going to pay the money. I just wanted my time with my kids. That's spite. Kelvin, that's spite. And that is completely goddamn different. How do you forgive somebody for spite? You know? Fucking crazy, man. Ex-wife communicado. Hey, V, my son had never seen John Wick, and we watched that shit last night, and he hasn't seen that one yet, the excommunicado. I said, oh, man, if you like the first one, shit, we just getting started. Never take your ex back. I don't go backwards. If you spend significant time with somebody and y'all break up and you leave, you don't go backwards. I've done that once in my whole time. She needs to get a job and quit being a loser. Hell no. Let them get an effing job in a life of her own. I remember you telling this story, and I think she meant that would be too easy for you. You suffer more when they suffer. Yeah. Yeah, it's a good point. It takes sacrifice, work, and commitment to be a man. Absolutely. And it's not easy, you know? Hold up. Yep. Order 66. Women want the time to be able to continue to brainwash their children. Oh, yo, B, don't be surprised if I don't do a video and I put Order 66 on the thumbnail title. Oh, I got to steal that one. Order 66. Oh, man. Every man gonna know what that is. Order 66 on brainwashing children. Oh, man. Oh, that's a good one. That's the kind of ideas I need right there. Like Order 66 on a thumbnail. Oh, everybody will know what that means. She said no. They're lying to themselves. They want the power of a man, but without the burden. Yeah. Focus on getting your body stronger. Always do. Love daddy life. Yeah, man. All I wanted to be was a dad, man. Good on you for losing the weight. Stay consistent. The boost in tea does great for the system. Great from on experience in my own weight loss venture. Yeah, man. I know that, man, I was telling my son today, I love the pain. He looked at me like I was crazy. What do you mean you love pain? I was like, man, I've been in the gym for 30 years, almost 30 years. I love the way it feels. I love the pain. I get an adrenaline rush from that shit. I guess, and I don't even consider myself like a bodybuilder or I think I'm a weightlifter, but I'm saying I fucking love that shit. I love the endorphins from that shit. Anyway, that's just me. Yep. Both of my girls have told me they want to live with me. My ex's ego wouldn't be able to take that reality. This is a common story. This is a common story. I've seen it. If you, like for my military dudes, y'all really know these stories. These are horror stories. Hell, we're about to hear about it at the last clip. Are we at on time? Okay, shit. Went a little longer than I wanted to. All right, let me get to the next clip. I'm sorry. Oh, hold on. Let me catch this real quick. You're a bigger man than me. I end up behind bars. But hold on. Let me catch this comment, all of y'all. I understand this feeling. I do. But my mindset, when I contemplated it all, because I play chess in my head, I think about all the moves, right? If you go to jail because of the stuff that I said, then you are operating in your feelings. Hear me out. Because your kids need you. Your kids need you. Now, I need you to understand something. I was in the Navy. So I already was away, out to sea. I already spent these times where I was gone. And now I'm going to almost get out or be out, and I'm going to go behind bars to be in prison again. Y'all, I don't know if y'all know this, but I was on submarines. It's already like prison in my mind. You're already in a capsule. You're already in that bubble. You're already in the shoe. That's how I got through it. I just got to do the time. That's the way I looked at it. I spent a day and a half behind bars when I wrecked my car. The dude in the jail cell with me was sobbing and shit. He was an army dude, a little bit younger than me, but he was crying and shit. He's like, how are you keeping it together? I said, this shit just feels like the submarine. It's the same feeling I had while I was in the submarine. I felt like I was in jail. I did my job. I had some good times, but I feel the same way here that I did when I'm at work. So mentally, I know how to be in my own head. But this right here, how you help them if you're in jail? How do you can never get that time back, but why would you put yourself in this situation? I hope y'all listening to me because, and not just you, Ryan, this is a teaching moment for us all. I'm not a fool to know that I get thousands of people watching this over time, right? If you ever find yourself in a situation with a woman where you feel you got to do something, it's not worth losing the time. The two most valuable resources we have on this planet is not money. It's time and health. If you don't have those two things, you have nothing, man. If you don't have time and health, your shit is done. It's a wrap. Why would you put yourself in a situation, gents? Do not let these women get in your head where you feel you got to take them out. Lay hands on them. And if you are this color, jail is the last place you need to be. That's time wasted. It's time wasted. And the real brothers that's in jail will tell you, don't come here. Don't come here. So again, that wasn't just for you. That's for somebody listening that's frustrated. I know how you feel, but do not let them take you out the game. My favorite phrase is from Denzel in Training Day as Lonzo. This shit is chess, not checkers. If you get emotional, you're fucking done. Stay logical. Stay rooted. Stay rooted in the purpose. Okay? All right. This woman is about to take some accountability. Let's listen to it.
Relationship status?
Divorced 2 years now, and we were together for 17, married for 13 years, and I single-handedly ruined it myself.
Oh, wow.
Why?
Okay. Who initiated the divorce?
I did every single time. I've asked for it like 100 times, and on the last time, he's like, fine, you can have it.
When's the first time you asked for a divorce, I guess?
Oof. I think like a year within the marriage, probably. Yeah, it was really hard.
And you were together for 13?
We needed each other for this child.
And you asked for the divorce 1 year into the 13-year marriage.
And then like 10 times more. And then the last time he was like, fine, you can have it.
Now, and you said it was 100% your fault.
I take 100% ownership to what happened because he's the greatest guy in the world.
Tell us what happened.
Yeah, I ruined him.
You ruined him.
I did. I don't want to say I ruined him because he's the greatest guy. I hope he gets married and finds the most incredible life.
He's still a good guy, but
He's the best.
You ruined the marriage.
I ruined the marriage and his like view of me, basically.
I got to give you props for the accountability at
Thank
least.
you. And
So what did you do wrong then?
So I subscribed to the feminist ideology, which was horrible.
Gents, let me do something real quick. Shout out to this woman. Shout out to this woman for taking accountability. And there is a theme that you hear from the very beginning. If you all haven't started off with us in the beginning of this live stream, there was a clip of women who were talking about they had the good dude, or there was this dude that they talked to, and he fucked it up. All of them had the same story. And now, if you've looked at my videos over the past, I'd say about a month, you've seen the women come on and say, well, he was a great guy, but he was nice, but we didn't have that spark. Or even worse, he was lame, but he was a good guy. But I can't deal with that. Did I have a title of one of my stories? Let me see something. Was it in the dating dead and women killed it? No matter what you do, women are not loyal. One of these stories that we talked about of recent gents, there was just a number of situations. Again, same thing. Oh, he's a great guy. Oh, he was awesome. I'm finding these stories pretty easy now. It's like there's not a week that hasn't passed by that I don't find a story with a woman saying, oh, he was a good guy. Good guy. Just wasn't enough. Let me see. Let me see something real quick. Check this out. Just give me a second. I'm gonna play this clip from these women here. Check this out. Just listen.
Will you ever cut someone off too quickly because of trauma? Sometimes I feel like I will cut off a nice guy just because I don't think that we're going to mesh because I have too much trauma.
We cut off 2 really nice guys.
Yes, and let's talk about it. Sis, I'm going to be honest with you. This man had no issues.
No.
That man had no issues.
Yours had no issues. Mine had no issues. But they were great.
One thing about it, one thing for sure, baby, I need you with a little trauma.
Yeah.
I need you to come.
They were too perfect.
I need you to come with a little trauma.
How the hell is that our fault? How the hell can y'all sit up and say men are the problem? How can y'all say there's no good men? Stop the cap. If you've watched this channel, if you've subscribed to this channel, if you've been watching these videos, this ain't the first time you've heard this shit. This is the most recent time you've heard this. What we have seen from modern women, if you have all of these women, even in marriage, these are just girls dating. The last woman said she married the dude 13 years. He's an excellent man. It doesn't matter if you're the good guy. It doesn't matter. So why should any man sign up for marriage when being a good man does not matter? That means 2 things. I shouldn't marry you. Okay, that's one. Or what does it matter if I go ahead and cheat? What does it matter if I go ahead and dog over you? Those are the guys y'all remember. Those are the guys y'all have the most love and affinity for. I'm not telling y'all to be like that. I don't want to be like that. I don't want to do that to women anymore. I don't want to be that guy no more. Not because, that shit wasn't fun when I was doing it. That's just not who I am right now. But it also doesn't pay to be that dude who just does everything and just, I'm going to just do everything and I ain't going to expect nothing in return. Don't be that dude neither. I had to stop myself from saying something that I knew was going to get bleeped on YouTube. But F them 304s. That's the nice version of what I was going to say. I was like, oh, Jesus. Like, I had to watch my mouth, man. I was about to, I don't know if y'all know, man, I be tempering myself from saying all the, because YouTube will flag all the stuff that I say, but I'm like, man, there's so much I wanted to say tonight. There's a lot of nights that's like that. I'm like, okay, Shaun, you got to get rid of, you can't say everything you want to say. You know what I'm saying? Hey, shout out to Edward, man. He said, for the gents. Man, thank you so much, Edward. I appreciate you, man. It's been a couple times in a row, y'all. Let me say that Edward has contributed to the collection plate. And again, I really appreciate when y'all help the channel out. It is not required, but I do appreciate it. Seriously. Can't thank y'all enough. All right. I feel like, man, it's like I can type, but this shit's so small. And I'm wearing my distance contacts right now. So that didn't help. I should have thought that shit through. All right. Edward, I got you down for the $20 holla. I appreciate you very much. Thank you for being another sponsor of tonight's video. Much appreciated. J-Rock, shout out to you. Say, what up, Shaun C? When you get a chance, check out the book, The Beta Male Revolution, Why Men Have Totally Lost Interest in Marriage in Today's Society by Alan Roger Curry. Let's write this down. So I'm going to write the name down first. Roger Curry. And it's called The Beta Male Revolution. Okay. All right, I'll take a look at that. Let me put a star by it so I can know. Make sure to take a look at it. Good. Thank you so much, J-Rock. I appreciate you, brother. Sentiment says, be upstanding and good to yourself. Give her nothing and take everything is the trending philosophy. Again, I keep it as simple as instead of it's easy to go the negative route. It really is. And I can't blame men if they do. But there's something else you said in there that's more of uplifting for you. So I'm more of the mindset of your actions are going to show me who you are. And I've been through a lot of shit. Unc, who was in the stream earlier, right? Unc was earlier. He was the one after I kind of went through my car accident. And though it had nothing to do with women, he rightly identified that the people in my life needed to be better. So what he said was, look, no broke bees, right? I wish I could have said it the real way he said it, but he said no more broke bees. And that philosophy has changed my life. Now, he told me, he said, it's going to be different. And I asked him how. He said, I can't really explain it. You're just going to have to see. He said, just when you date women that got shit to lose, it's a completely different thing. It's not saying that they're better. It's just saying that it's just different. Broke bees got a whole different mindset than women that got shit going on. And I'm going to tell you, he's all right. He was right. Talking to women that had shit to lose made me find the right woman. Because now I've eliminated I've eliminated the women that I know gonna be problems because they got trauma. It's not to say that women got shit that don't have trauma. I'm just saying they were able to elevate past their trauma and do what they had to do. You can respect that. I can respect that. I do respect that. But that philosophy put me on the right path. That was a little bit over 11 years ago. And I would say that the type of women that I've met over that time, completely different than everything I met before that. And I'm grateful. Thank you, Unc. Appreciate you. Yo, it's Eric TV. He says, I think God put a season of singleness on my life. Bro, let me tell you something. I just want to make sure I didn't, okay. I just want to make sure that, thank you for the $2 holler, Eric. There's something I like to say all the time to the gents, or this story I like to bring up, and I'm going to continue to use it. There is no one of significant importance that hasn't spent time alone that I can know of. Yes, those people will always say that they had great and amazing people in their lives, but the people that achieve greatness always spend time alone. And I remember I'm a Jordan fan. I'm definitely a Kobe Bryant fan. Kobe Bryant, Tim Duncan kept me watching basketball. I'm a Spurs fan, right? I'm a Lakers fan. In terms of, because of Kobe, right? Peeking on LeBron. I'm a Steph Curry fan. I value people with work ethic who put the lunch pail, grab the lunch pail, and they do the work. Because to be great, you need the reps. And to be like Kobe, I'm gonna use Kobe for example, but Kobe was putting in reps when no one else was around. Even before Jesus had to accomplish the thing and start the work on his purpose, before he started working toward that purpose, Jesus had to go off to the wilderness, did he not? I think he went off to the wilderness for like 40 days or something to get ready for the purpose, the bigger purpose that he had. Now, whether you believe that story to be true or not, that's not the point. Because I'm not trying to talk about religion. I'm trying to talk about, as a man, being single isn't bad. But again, time is one of our most valuable resources. What are you doing in your season of singleness? What are you doing with the spare time that you have? Are you working toward your purpose? Or are you just fucking off? As gents, we work on our purpose. We work on ourselves. Take that time to do, and when I say do the work, because I want to clarify something. When I say do the work, we are men. We are purpose-driven. Figure out, after my car accident, I had to figure out what was that thing that I want. And then I put the effort in to do it. If you're new to this channel, this was my work notebook. Look how old that tape was, right? This was my work notebook. Now, I've since torn out all the Navy pages because, well, I didn't want to see that shit no more, right? But in here is, after my car accident, this was my first 5-year plan. Can't see it. It was my first 5-year plan. And that was from 2015 to 2020. Then my second 5-year plan was from 2020 to 2025. And that's this plan here. And this is my most recent one. I haven't looked at it since 2025, so I do need to take a look at it, but it goes to January 2030. I don't tell y'all shit that I don't do. I don't tell y'all about, hey, go work on yourself, but I'm not doing that work. I'm telling you all of this because as men, this time of singleness is very, very important. And I'm sorry I took a long time to say that. But when I play the last of these clips, that'll make so much more sense. Okay. Let me get Eric up on here on the banner. Thank you very much, Eric. I appreciate you for being one of tonight's sponsors. Thank you for the $2 holler. All right. That's good. There we go. All right. Thank you so much, Eric. I appreciate that. Let me see what comments came after that just to make sure. I'm going to make sure that I get a return on my investment. I don't have another 25 years of marriage in me. V, I get it. I get it. Preston, that is a problem. We men knowing that this allowing to have control over our homes and family. Yeah. That's your time to grow, brother. Absolutely. Thank you. Y'all still got Bronny. Again, I'm a Spurs fan. Just need you to know that, okay? Spurs first. All right. I've been clear about that. Men are the ones who have to make and hold a standard. Yeah. We need religion. I don't necessarily believe in religion as much as I believe in your relationship, your spiritual relationship with your maker, with God, with your God. Okay? It was fun. Know how flaky modern women are. Okay. I'm not trying to, I know y'all having conversations. Gotcha. The price of knowing is the hardest burden for a man to carry. Yeah. That could be his own show right there. The price of knowing, knowledge to be, they talked about that in Doomsday, right? Or not Doomsday, Endgame. Or no, Infinity War. When Tony Stark came across Thanos. And Tony Stark said, "You know me?" He said, "You're not the only one cursed with knowledge." Oh, that line was cold. All right. Let's get back to this. I want to show y'all something. This was a clip that I had, and a lot of y'all going to be able to relate to this. Check this out.
A lot of times men date us and they're actually disappointed when you're wondering like, oh, well, why did he pursue me? Why did he want to be with me? And then now all of a sudden he pull it back and he want me to chase him. He got to fucking know you and he's disappointed. Let me tell you this. It's my shit, so I can say I done disappointed a couple niggas. I know that there are men out here that was just like admire me from afar and it was like, surprise, I'm a hoe. Like, surprise, look. I fucked you in a week. Like, I know that I disappointed you. Like, I think that men, they see you from afar and they're like, wow, she's out here doing her thing. She's a boss, whatever. And then they get you and they see you off that Casamigos. You drunk as a fucking fish. Your diet don't consist of nothing. You listen to trap music every time you wake up. You have no morning routine. You have no core values. And they date you and they're like, damn, like, I thought it was something else.
Yo. Broke bees. Hey, that's a good way to put it. The most valuable thing to a man's happiness is his peace. Absolutely. Listen, I thought this was a really valuable clip. I played this clip before, but it goes with what we're talking about today. Whether you're in a marriage or you're in a relationship, one of the worst things you can figure out is that the woman that you're talking to, she disappoints you. For all the talk of these women who said they got rid of the good guys and the nice guys, the women that was crying in the beginning of this live stream, you can't tell me some of them men weren't the type of men that says, I'm disappointed. And I'm going to put it in another way. Y'all know, if you know, you know. You ever had that woman that you was excited about? You was like, oh man, she seems awesome, man. And I hate to put it this way, but you get that little tangly feeling. She got you tangly. And it's not just the tangles from, doing something. It's like, oh man, she seemed to got something. And then that moment happens where she lets you down or she disappoints you. And that little switch in your head goes from, oh man, I thought she had something, to she's just a throwaway now. we can have fun times, but you already know in your head it's not going any further. That right there. God, women got their little things too, right? You talk, they say they got their little spidey sense and shit, but as a man, when you really when you willing to not compromise as a man and that little switch click in your head and you like, ooh, yeah. And you know what's the worst ones? The worst ones is when it's so bad what you see in your head and what your instincts telling you and what your logic is telling you that you decide you don't even want to deal with the woman. You like, yeah, I'm good. No thanks, I'm good. When you straight up tell a woman, no thanks, I'm good. Ooh, and they not gonna admit it. They not gonna get on some of these videos and admit that shit. But some of these dudes that were supposedly good men that they were like, oh, I need you to have trauma. Them dudes was like, no thanks, I'm good. I'm good. I'm telling you. Yeah. No thanks, lady. Yeah. I have to lose it after 25 years of marriage to gain it. Oh, you're talking about losing weight and all that, being healthy and stuff. Yeah. Edward says she is correct. Yeah. Most men know the weight of a smile. Yeah. My divorce allows me to focus on my calling and purpose for my life. Micro manufacturing, 3D printing, and prototyping. V, that's awesome, man. If I had more time, I'd be doing that shit too, but I do not have the time. I got a friend, she does print pressing and stuff for shirts and logos, and she's good at it now, but it took work. I've put a lot of time in this. I'm not giving this up. This is, even if, whatever, even if I stay around this range, I still got a lot more work to do with this channel. And that's why I want to grow it, because we need to be able to talk about other shit. And I can't talk about it when I only got, 57,000, almost 60,000. You need to have those bigger numbers to talk about the things that need to get talked about. We ain't there yet, but trust me, I got a plan. Or when I say, trust me, we're going to evolve this channel. As it grows, we will grow. It will evolve. We'll talk about different stuff, but we got to grow. We got to grow for us to talk about it. They hate it. Yeah. they that switch goes, oh man. Just know your ex wants to see you fail, so she thinks she's the center of your world. Oh, I had a clip for that. Where is that clip? Damn it. I thought I had put that clip in here. Oh shit, where did I put that clip? Hold up. That clip is in here somewhere. Is it under marriage? Let's see. Nope, it would be under divorce. Hold on. I got category. I got so many folders in my damn computer. Let's go divorce. Please tell me it's here. Shit. Oh. No, your ex wants to see you fail. She thinks she's the center of your world. Right here. Okay. Here we go. Oh, I wasn't going to break this clip out, but.
My question is, I'm a proud member of the First Wives Club. And my husband is on wife number 3 or 4. And I'm trying to figure out why, after 20 years of being divorced, why is he on wife number and I'm single? Because you're worried about what he doing. I was about to say that too. Go ahead, Donnie. No, ma'am. Why are you even aware of what number wife this man is on? Because he still lives in the house that we lived in. Do you live there too? No, ma'am. That is no longer your home. That's his home with his second wife,
his third wife and his fourth wife. You are still single because you are following behind his business. You have not spiritually disconnected, emotionally disconnected, or mentally disconnected.
If you're his garment and you don't say what he did as to why you really got a divorce, and you allow him to have wife number 2, 3, 4.
Allow?
All right, first is the title. You say you're the first wife versus his ex-wife. All right, that's the first piece.
I call him my husband.
Right. So first piece is you'd have to divorce him psychologically. All right, and then you have to set, whenever we're talking about heartbreak, you have to set a date for healing. All right.
All right, I don't feel like going into all that. I just wanted y'all to see. Let me go back to this woman right quick. You said it, bro. Where we at? Where we at? She thinks she's the center of your world. She is still worried about the dude. It's too late, lady. It is too late. What the hell is she talking about? She is single because she is cantankerous, annoying, and disagreeable busybody. You can't connect with people who are disconnected from their poor choices and pathetic decisions. Absolutely. Still married, never been divorced. That's good. Okay, y'all chatting. Edward says, this is exactly how they move. And that's why they're miserable at all times. Think about what I told y'all in that story. I'm trying to move on. I'm trying to hey, let me have a relationship. You go and move on, do your life. And you tell me I can't have my kids because it's too easy for them, for me? Think about the mindset. Man, my kids was like, yo, she still talks about you. What? Let's see how old I was. We haven't been together in 14 years. 14? At that time? 13, 14 years. What? 13 years. Why are you still talking about me? What 13 years? It's a whole nother life. Hell, I had a whole nother woman at that point in time. Actually, I was going through my second divorce by that period of time. What? You can't connect with people who can't pair bond. No, you can't. She's too old to be talking about moving like that, right? Misery loves company. Lord said, absolutely. Photos by Dale, man. Glad how you keep folders and you're organized with clear examples. Yeah, man, listen, I have not given up that part of me that was in the military that stays organized. I just can't. All my shit got dates, I got to go through and purge every now and then, but yeah, I keep everything, man. Mindset, narcissist. Sentiment says she couldn't control you and couldn't believe it. Yeah. All right, y'all still talking? Misery loves company like Catastrophe City loves Agony's company. Anyway, that's a little off topic. We're over 2 hours. Let's finish up these clips and get up out of here because them ribs is calling me. All right. This sister here, I've played this clip in a video a long time ago, but I like to keep certain clips because they come back and they remind us. We've seen women tonight, gents, that they've admitted fault. They have shown the classic traits of, why men don't want to get married or why men want to leave marriages. If you are a woman that's listening, I want you to listen. Please, please, please listen to what this woman says, because it's something as simple as what she's about to say could save your marriage and or your relationship if you're willing to be open to it. Here it is.
Women have a hard time taking responsibility. We have a hard time being shown ourselves. And I've come to realize that women are very, very prideful. Like men have egos, but women are very prideful. And the reason why we have a hard time being shown who we are is because the opposite of pride is shame. And we don't want to feel that shame because it is very painful. But let me tell you something. You have nothing to be shameful about simply because you're imperfect. We are all imperfect. The best gift, one of the best gifts you can give your husband is when he says, babe, this is how I'm feeling. This is what I see in you. This is where you can improve. This is the adjustments I think that you can make, is to sit back and think about it. And then say, you know what, babe, I can see where I could do better in that area. You know, I'm sorry for making you feel that way. I don't want you to feel that way. Right? Eat it. Because that's going to give you the relationship you're actually fighting for.
So I wanted to play that clip because that little thing that she said at the end, right? That thing she said at the end about taking criticism, like if you're a man with these women today and you go ahead and you say, hey babes, look, honestly, I'm feeling this way. Like, notice what I just said. For a man to say, hey, I'm feeling this way about this feeling. You know how crazy it is? We men be like, you know, I'm feeling this way. It's like, but you tell her you feeling a certain type of way. This is what's happening. And you saying, hey, this is something that I need for you to work on. Okay? I always got to hear about what I got to work on. Here's what you need to work on. A lot of women's egos, especially in 2026, can't handle you saying they got to work on something. How can a woman be working on something when she thinks she's a 10 and there's no room for improvement? If she has that mindset, how are you going to tell her she's wrong? My woman, she has a boss, and she is what you call a textbook narcissist. And the same, everything we just talked about, her boss is the same way. You can't tell her shit. I had a boss that I worked with right before I got out of the Navy. And he was always like, if you agreed with what he said, right? He was like, yeah, okay, you know what, you see what I'm saying, right? Yeah. You was good if you agreed with exactly what he said. But let you challenge what he was saying. Yo, man, that ain't gonna work. What do you mean it's not gonna work? Well, I'm saying because if you do this, blah, blah, blah. Well, you just gotta expand your mind. It's like, I have expanded my mind. I looked at all those scenarios. What did I tell y'all my phrase is? My phrase been the same for more than 20 plus years. This shit is, since Training Day came out, I've adopted this mindset. This shit is chess, not checkers. I just didn't have a phrase to put with it, but I've always been like, hey, I'm making chess moves. And now I play chess, right? So when you would tell him, hey, I don't think it's going to work. Well, look, you just need to, we just need to just try it out. We're going to do this anyway. Okay, man. Until I challenged him one day and we got into a yelling match. So this is me. I'm a chief. He's a master chief. And we're in a fucking shouting match. Dave, what the fuck are you talking about, man? And he said some very lewd shit to me that we were behind closed doors. I'm not going to repeat it. But I'm going to tell you, by the end of it, I said, Dave, I did my fucking job. You not hearing me doesn't change the fact that you're wrong about this shit. He replaced me the next day. Some new senior chief came in. It's like, hey, I'm here to replace you. Or I'm here to take over. Dave did me a fucking favor. I'll tell you why Dave did me a favor. I was getting out of the Navy. I hadn't worked on anything. Hadn't worked on a damn thing. Dave getting in his feelings because his little panties were in a fucking knot did me a favor. Started doing all my medical appointments. Let the dude, Billy, take over. I'm doing my shit. I'm going to play ball when I have free time. I'm getting my medical done. I've got my VA papers. I'm getting my records copied. All the shit you need to do before you retire. Dave thought he was taking me down. Dave did me a favor. So y'all want to talk about God? You want to talk about that? My back was covered because I walked in righteousness. I knew I was doing what's right. You can try to mess over me, but it's going to work out for me anyway. So this is the thing that we have to keep in mind when we dealing with the spirits we allow to come into our life, man. These people are narcissists. When you're dealing with a narcissist, man, you got to move a little differently because they think differently. These people do not give a care. When you're dealing with a narcissist, man, you really gotta realize that you can't be sitting there trying to think that they're gonna empathize with you because they don't have fucking empathy. George says the courts favor the women no matter the situation unless she's an unfit parent. And even then, she could be damn near a crack. Oh, I almost said the H word, the W word. She's a crack 304. And so, yeah, even that, you got to prove it. So dude's just like, look, man, we're going to talk about this. George, thank you. You gave me the segue. Is that our last clip? We got 2 clips, but George did give us the segue. Thank you so much. Never take the level of disrespect. Hell no. Okay. V say that's a good point. TSG, too many men find out after marriage a woman's a disappointment and the women still change. Hell, there's a lot of women who don't change at all. Think about those 2 young ladies who sat there and said, oh, he was good. They both acknowledged they had good men, right? They had good men. There's a number of women tonight that acknowledged they had good men. The only one changed was the wife that took accountability and said she fucked up. I don't know if she changed, but she at least took accountability. That's step 1. Those 2 girls that was on that panel, those 2 black girls who said they had good men, what did they say? I need a little toxic. I need a little toxic, girl. Oh, that's what they said. They hadn't learned shit. Most women are like them, V. Most women don't learn because they say, well, I'm not going to compromise who I am to be a better person. No, that's just not my type. I want the toxicity. Can't change that. Listen, let me play these 2 clips and let me play these 2 clips real quick. The last one we're going to talk about, but that'll be the last one for the night. I just want to show y'all this real quick.
You right now, everybody is getting a divorce, and I'm sick and tired of going online and seeing divorce. Divorce is so common in this generation. It is beyond me. And I'm not saying you have to be complacent and deal with whatever, but I feel like divorce has become almost like
y'all heard
a change
that?
of underwear. Like, what is going on? It is too much. It's too much, okay? You marry me, listen, Buster, you ain't going nowhere. We locked in, homie. You ain't going nowhere. Oh, you thought you was leaving? No.
Yo, I don't know if y'all heard that beep in the background. That was the single woman alarm. You got the cat running through there. I actually don't have a problem with cats, man. But I like dogs too, but I'm also at the point in my life that I don't want no animals. If you can't pay rent in this house, you can't stay here. You can't work out this house, you can't stay. This is a red flag. And I'm not trying to get into this because what she said was right. Divorce is too easy for people right now. 3.5 years, 4 years, done. That thing said, oh, people are staying together. I do not believe that. I know y'all don't believe that shit either. TSG's a Mac Daddy. Your ex still thinking about you. First of all, the fact that you said Mac Daddy that's some funny shit. I heard the bust down beep. Yeah. Always miserable. The bust down beep. Yo, that's a good one. Single forever. I hear you, sentiment. She's definitely a crack. Oh, ho, ho's catastrophe city swallowing Pookie juice and Michelin tire belly women sloppy joes. God dang, Preston. You went ham on that one. I'm not going to talk about this young lady tonight. Yeah. Why do they get on? See, they know that they're going to get attention if you wear a little top like that. She's a cute woman. I'm going to tell you, though, let me put this back up on the screen. I didn't mean to bring her up in this manner. I just wanted to talk about the divorce. But let's look at something real quick. I'm looking at this house. It's a little messy for my taste. Look, you look, none of that shit arranged. I'm not trying to knock her, but you're a woman, man. You're supposed to be neater than me. Look at that. There's fucking shit all over the couches and shit. I'm sorry. I used to have OCD, so I got a problem. Fucking cat all over the place. Cat hair. What the fuck is that cat doing? What kind of cat is that? Okay, I like the cat. But, man, look. The beep going off. Fucking shit everywhere. You ain't supposed to be messy, ma'am. I don't like that. Yeah, this is a red flag. Red flag, nose ring. She got a nose ring? I didn't see that. All right, let's get to the last story so we can get up out of here because I got ribs calling my name. Got some baked beans, some macaroni and cheese. All right, let's listen to this woman's story and we'll get back to it. Let's check it out.
I see women on this app like crashing out because of how horrible like their ex-husbands are, their baby dads are, just like ruining their life and just, you know, making their life so difficult. And I'm like, oh my God, that's so horrible what those women are going through. And now I'm one of them. I filed for divorce 2 months ago. I've been trying to look for an apartment, and the places that I'm looking at, I need to make 3 times the rent to be able to rent them. And unfortunately, with my job, I'm a CNA. I don't make 3 times the rent. So I need a child support order to be able to add to my income so I can meet the requirement. And I've been trying to get into some sort of settlement with my soon-to-be ex-husband on that. And basically, he is blackmailing me, I guess. He wants me to sign away all rights I have to his military retirement. He is in the Army. Ooh. He has been in for 18 years. He'll be retiring in 2 years. And I've been married to him the entire time. So the retirement's a marital asset. So I am entitled to part of it. We've been going back and forth and fighting about it, and I just can't take it anymore. I just want to leave. I just want to move out, and I just want to start my life over. So I offer to sign away my right to the military retirement in return for spousal support and the entirety of the savings account that we have. I send the proposal to my lawyer and tell her this is what I'm proposing to do. And she comes back and says, well, this is a bad idea. And then she says, well, you could get a temporary order from the court for the child support, but that's going to cost you $4,000 in legal fees, and it may not be binding because it's only temporary, so you may not even be able to use that to really add to your income. And she goes into this long thing, which I appreciate. I appreciate her telling me the legal stuff because she's basically telling me you are an idiot to sign this away. And she does all the numbers, and the numbers don't make any sense. Basically, I'm giving away more to get less. She's basically trying to persuade me to kind of wait this out till the final order happens because it will go in my favor if I can just wait it out. But I can't wait it out because I have to stay in the house with this person. Yesterday, he called me the nanny. He said that I'm going to pay you child support and you're just going to be the nanny for my kids. When I told him, like, I need to try and stay in the district so our kids can keep going to their school. And the neighborhood that we're in is a little bit more expensive. So I need the child support order. And he said, it's not my problem. It's not my problem that you can't afford a place for them to live. In fact, I hope that's how it plays out. Because I want the kids to see that you can't support them. I want the kids to see that you can't afford for them to live in a nice place. And I want them to know that they're going to have to go through a hardship because of what you did. Your pressure campaign that he's been putting me under for the last 2 months since I filed is an effort, is really him trying to get me to drop the whole thing. I honestly believe that. I honestly believe he just wants me to drop the whole thing. If I went to him and I said, okay, I'm just going to drop the divorce, got rid of my lawyer, and then didn't do anything, I think he'd drop his lawyer and we would just go about life like before. I honestly believe that. I just think he doesn't want to not be married anymore to me. Not because he loves me or anything like that, but just because this is a big inconvenience to him. It's a big inconvenience, and he has to do all of these things he doesn't want to do, and all he wants to really do is just go to work, come home, play video games, watch some corn, and nap. And I'm disrupting all of his plans with my annoying, irritating divorce. This is very long, but I'm hoping that a woman's going to see me, see what I'm going through, and say,
So, gents, let me see what y'all got to say first before I say what I got to say. Because I might shock y'all with what I'm going to say, but I need y'all to hear it. And there's a reason why I chose to play this last. And I didn't see the whole video because I want to hear everything she had to say. Haha, that boy Cole. Yeah, he was Sub-Zero with it. You right about that. I need one woman, one man, one woman. I hear you, V. All I seriously heard was I'm a dirty trampoline. Wow. And single never means not bumping uglies. Yeah. Single forever, yeah. Not me, her. The beep, no man ever stays long enough to change the alarm. You're right, that's not a wife. Yeah. Talking about the last woman. Lord Zed says, women like her saw divorce as a get-rich-quick scheme so they can get alimony and child support. Women like her are a liability to a man's peace. I hear you. Don't ever marry into a walking contract where the other party is incentivized to break that contract. Notice how everything is transactional. It's all about money, money, money. Just listen to her. I want to divorce her. Okay, I got to hear what y'all said, and let me say this. It's interesting listening to her and all these women on social media talk about their divorces, specifically this divorce here, because she's talking to a military dude, and obviously I was in the military and I got divorced. I wasn't married long enough to my exes for them to take half of my retirement. That did not happen. So I'm kind of lucky in that respect. I know men who I'm good friends with, and they lost half of their retirement. And they still got all the trouble. And, like I had a buddy lose half his retirement, and his wife had a decent enough job as a therapist. So she technically didn't need the money, but like this woman said, she was entitled to it because she was there. And it's a marital asset. And I heard something the other day that was like, yo, if you don't have that shit protected, it's marital assets that they can come after. And in some cases, I say this all the time. Divorce, say many years ago, was set up, right? We look at modern divorce today where men lose, half or more or whatever. Whoever's making more loses everything. But back in the day, dudes used to just up and leave. And these women would have no skills and no job. And now they're just home with kids with nothing. And these dudes would pick up and have families. That's wrong, in my opinion. I need y'all to bear with me with this, okay? Bear with me. That's why this is the last story. I'm making a point about something. So that was wrong. So they adjusted the laws to try to protect women. Okay, understood. But then, even like y'all said, there was no fault divorces and stuff like that. And then what did we see? Now women were just giving up divorce because they were like, I don't want to be here. I'm bored. I'm not happy. Doesn't make me tangle. Found somebody else. whatever excuse. This wasn't what I expected. And we saw a shift, did we not? Started seeing a shift where you started seeing now men are being put in a situation. I'm not going to play it now. I'm not going to find it now, but I've shown on this channel what it looks like after dudes pay child support. A dude who's making, if he was by himself, he'd be able to live. He'd have a place to live. But I've shown y'all on this channel, dudes starting to pay child support and all the stuff they got to pay, and they're negative at the end of the month. They're not making it. Now, can you imagine that shit happening to somebody in this economy? You're barely just making it. They garnishing all your wages. I know people that have gone through that, where they don't even make enough to live, you know? So when I hear this story, I heard, aside from the getting of the alimony and all that stuff, I'm hearing her story and her being upset about dealing with the other person. I could relate to that story. Like, I hear her story and I can empathize with the story because I've been there. And I know other men who've been through this exact road. She initiated this divorce. He didn't want it. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say he don't have problems or whatever. That's not my point in this. My point is to say, when I hear her story, I remember all the shit I went through. I remember making sure that my family was taken care of, and I struggled. Every time I've gotten a divorce, I was homeless. Been homeless had 3 periods of homelessness in my life. And 2 of them were after I split. So I made sure my family was taken care of. They were living in housing, and I had no house. All right? I'm required to give a certain amount of money for my family, which doesn't leave enough for me to have the 3 times the rent. I can't live in a normal apartment. Being with my exes, right, had terrible credit. My credit was terrible. If anything happened right now with this place here, God forbid, I got good enough credit that I can go to other apartments and I can get a place. They'll do a credit check and they'll be like, all right, you're fine. It took me, when I got out of the military, that was one of the first things I worked on. I had already raised up my credit over 100 points 6 months after getting out of the military, after retiring. I said, this is enough is enough. I didn't understand what credit was about, but I'm like, I know now. So when times get tough, I got credit. Ain't nobody gonna stop me from being in an apartment. Ain't nobody gonna stop me from being able to get a loan. Like, that's what credit is. And I didn't understand that shit because I grew up in the hood. I grew up in New Orleans. Cash in, cash out. Didn't understand none of that shit. Didn't get my first debit card until I was 19 years old and barely knew what to do with it. I was overdrafting for the first goddamn year I was in the Navy because I didn't understand that, hey, this shit, I debited now, but it didn't count it. And now I debit again because I see this total and now I'm overdrawn. Nobody taught me none of that shit. Fast forward, dealing with these divorces, taking care of my family, and I'm the one. No friends to help me. Friends that you thought were your friends ain't your friends no more. She got all the goddamn friends. If she really needed a place to stay, I'm sure there's a girlfriend or a family or somebody to take her in. When I needed a place to stay, it was like crickets. Look, divorce is a hard goddamn thing for men and women. And you have these women talking about, oh, he's a good man, but I had to leave. And they're so selfish, they don't care. They just want to be out of it. Why do you got to keep the dude's kids from him? Oh, you want to use those kids as pawns. because you know that's the only thing he cares about. He don't care about you. That was your was-been. You still keeping tabs on this damn dude as your was-been. So you're going to use those kids against him because that's the only way to keep control, to keep attached. That woman that was talking about her was-been, my ex was just like that. I can empathize with what this woman is going through her divorce. I really can. But isn't it time to acknowledge that why is it we can't work through this shit? Why is it that the majority of y'all are using these kids as pawns? If you was a half decent person, dudes would be like, you know what? I can take care of that. Why can't we just stay together and make this plan? You want to leave, leave. Because this is what I said to my exes. I said, look, let's just work it out. Let's make a plan. I can't stay here with you. Okay. Okay. So it goes back to the original thing, why marriage no longer makes sense. Because when you hear stories like mine, when men hear stories like mine and other men that have gone through this shit, they don't want to go through that. They're smart not to go through it. There are certain pains that men need to go through to learn, to grow, to be better. I'm going to tell you, if you can avoid going through a divorce, especially if you got kids with, if you don't have kids, it's probably easier to go through. But if you got kids, shit. Your life will never be the same. You know? Most men don't recover fully from what they've lost. Time, money, sanity, emotionally. They don't recover from divorce. They might get married again, but they still bring that into the next relationship and the next marriage. They have to. It's the only way to make sure you don't do that shit again, and then it still happens again. So the goal of tonight wasn't, I probably I'm not getting married now. I hear y'all. I think this was more of an exercise in, this is why men are hesitant in getting married in the first place. Because what is the reward for it? What is the benefit? When I do the cost analysis, it don't make sense. You all want to get married, ladies, for your pride, so you don't feel a certain way. And I'm like, do you know all I fucking lost? I can't go through that again. I can't go through that again. And you being a nice and a good person ain't enough either. Because if I'm the nice and the good guy, statistically says, that shit don't matter. Even if I'm a good man, it don't fucking matter. You're going to leave anyway. That's y'all. That's y'all saying that shit on the internet. So men are like, you know what? No thanks. I'm good. All right, let's see what y'all got to say. Haven Men's resources to help men and fathers with physical and emotional needed. Check out this. Make sure you go check it out if y'all need that resource. Thank you very much, V, for putting that on there. Photos by Dell says, what advice can you give a husband whose wife is using the kids as a hold card to take his retirement? Well, if there's a law that says that she's going to get half of your retirement, okay, this is the advice. If she's entitled to the entire retirement, there's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing you can do. If she's using them to get a hold of your retirement, if you can afford to fight her on the merits, do it. It's an expensive, costly process, right? I've spent more than 10 grand on divorces, maybe more, maybe double that, and I got nothing from it. the lawyer pretty much, I could have did that shit myself. And I did do it myself the second time because I paid for lawyers before and it was shit, man. You know what I could have did with that 10,000 plus 15,000, however much I paid? You know what I could have did with that based on the work she did? If I was smart, I would have invested that. And that way I'd have never gotten to the second marriage and I could be living my best life somewhere if I was smart. But I didn't know no better, man. A lot of men don't know no better. So if she's using those kids as a pawn to get your retirement, you do everything you can for your kids. Everything. Let them know that you're there. Save stuff. Document the conversations. Screenshot those conversations. Record those conversations. And you're not going to do anything with it. I want you to save it all. And then when your kids get about, say, 15 years old, they're going to ask certain questions when they're around you. Stay in their lives as best as you can, as much as your sanity will hold, but do not do it to the level that you're going to do something stupid, you're going to break, crack, whatever. Because this is a hard thing. But we men, you push through that shit. You try your best. Sometimes you're going to have to walk away for a little bit. But keep documentation. Because when these kids get older and you show them, this is what Jamal said back then. I tried to come see you. Here's the mail that I tried to send you. Here's a picture of the mail I sent. Document everything. Because I think it was V or one of y'all said it earlier. Where was it? That they're going to use them against you. One of y'all said that. I'm sorry if I forgot who. That they using them as the using kids as pawns, whatever. The point I'm trying to say is, you said, I think I said they're 10 to 14. You can't win that. You also going to have to make the choice too with, hear me out. You got $10,000, hear me out. Anybody listening, you got $10,000 to fight this thing. If she is a complete endangering the lives of kids, take that $10,000 and get your kids. Fight for them. If you don't have a lot to fight on her on that, don't do that. Take whatever money you got or whatever money you would have paid that lawyer and put that shit to the side for your kids. Put that shit to the side for your kids. Do not spend it on anything else. Save that money. Save the letters, save the screenshots, record the calls, do all that shit. And say, instead of losing that money for y'all, and I know you want to know that I fought, and I decided to fight for y'all a different way. I'm showing you all what I did. Here's the receipts. And this money that I was going to use for the lawyer, I've been putting that to the side. I've been investing that money particularly for, this is what I would do if I had to do it over again. This money, I decided to invest it for y'all. I didn't need it. Just put it to the side. Your kids are 10 and 14. For your 14-year-old, wait, sorry, I think I got the numbers wrong. 10 and 14, okay. For the 14-year-old, when they getting ready to graduate that senior year, part of that money or part of the money is for them to get their car. Get their car for them. At least they got some wheels to get around in. For the 10-year-old, that's 8 more years. You're talking college fund. You're talking some money for college. At about 15 years old, you're going to have that talk. Not with the younger one, when they're 15, 16, have that talk. They will not forget that shit. They may not fully forgive you, but they'll put 2 and 2 together. If you did all the stuff that I said earlier, them kids will remember what the fuck you tried to do. And then when you show them the receipts and you show them, hey, I decided to take this money instead of flushing it down the goddamn toilet to these vultures of a lawyer, I put it to the side for you. Because I knew this day would come. And that's all you can do. And they'll remember. They'll put 2 and 2 together. That's the best advice I can give any of y'all for it. Because when I had these talks with my kids, they said, Mommy said you said this, that, and the third. I said, really? Did your mom? I said, let me ask you a question. While y'all was coming up, did your mom say bad things about me? Oh, yeah, all the time. I said, okay, let me ask y'all another question. Have you ever heard me say a bad thing about your mom while y'all were kids? No. I said, now we can have a talk. We can talk now. She been bad mouthing me this whole goddamn time, and y'all never heard me say a bad thing about her. Ask me whatever you want to. I'm gonna tell you the truth. Good, bad, and different. You ain't gonna want to hear it all. I'm gonna tell you the truth. And guess what? They will put those pieces together. Oh, I remember this time when you tried to come over and she said you just didn't want to be there. Them kids will put that shit together. And I know, I'm gonna say this, gents. You're gonna lose that time. You're gonna lose some of that time. And it's gonna hurt. But it is better than the pain she'll put you through using your kids as a fucking pawn. Because if you try to go gangbusters in there thinking you're going to change her mind, you're not. And if she doesn't see the value in you being a dad and you being around, it's not worth it. The kids will see it later. Okay? For all of y'all struggling with your ex-significant other, they'll see it later. You just got to do exactly what I told you to do. That's my best advice for any of y'all. Hell, this should be its own goddamn video. I might clip it. All right? All right, let's see where we at. She gets half the retirement while you end up with the resentment. Ooh, bars. I gave her 50-50 custody under duress, so I have a case to annul the document, but have been building my business to support my family. Again, some of us don't, let's be real about it. Some of us don't have the capacity to work the way our kids need us, make the money they need, and for us to have them full time. Not to say we can't try, it's just really tough. But I will say that if these women can do it, we can do it. But I understand, I'm not knocking anybody. And sometimes you just got to say, hey, look, I can't win this argument. But if you go ahead and you show your kids the receipts of what you've been doing, let them make that choice later. You're going to lose time, I get it. But it's better for you to have the receipts later. Okay, I'm so bad, here you go. This is what I tried to do. Some kids are still going to resent you for it. But you know what? As a man, you do the best you can. And again, when they find out the truth, real going to recognize real. That's all I'm going to say. Solid advice. Hey, that's the best I could do. It's how you make mistakes, but live through those mistakes and grow. Absolutely. You're an asset to our community. V, you are a jewel. Thank you so much, man. I've been focused on my daughter for the last 7 years. Staying celibate was a prerequisite to make sure my ex didn't use it as a wedge. It's a good point. Straight up truth. Hey, man, that's what I'm here to do. Don't make the mistakes that I make, man. Be better. Be better. I don't claim to be perfect. I'm just telling y'all, hey, I made mistakes. I didn't know. You know, you don't been through it, you don't know what to do. CSG tried the other route, which is allow the woman to have the child support while you keep the kids, but some women want the children for Order 66. I'm so glad I wrote Order 66 down, because y'all go get that shit. 10 to 14. Yeah. 3 kids. Yeah. One thing I'm doing is selling up my life where I can homeschool my girls for 4 hours in the morning. You have to make your situation look so ideal that 50-50. Yeah. This is helpful. Good. That's all I wanted to be. This seems quite personal. I can see the pain and sincerity in your eyes. This is always going to be a tough subject for me, man, because I wanted to be a father. I wanted my kids, bro. Can't nobody tell me otherwise. I'm going to tell you right now, can't nobody tell me otherwise. This shit is personal. That's why I don't want to be their fucking friend. I don't want to be your friend. We could be cordial. I'm not mad. Again, I need y'all to understand something. Women, men, I'm not bitter about any of this. I'm not mad at women. I'm not fucking bitter at women. I'm not mad. But I don't have to be your friend. I don't have to be around you. I just want to live my life. I just want my kids to have a better chance, a better life than me. I want them to live great lives. And I want to live a great life too. Okay? I've sacrificed a lot for a lot of goddamn people. Anybody tell you got to sacrifice and not live your life at the same time? That's a lie. You get one life, time, health. Time, health. That's all you get. Before I get out of here, I got one piece of good news about my health update. And I hope this helps y'all too. My ex has a life insurance policy. There's nothing I can do about it. I just want my girls. I know, man. I was the same place. Gaslighting husband while trying to make herself look good. Thank you. Quite knowledgeable. I've learned the hard way. I'm going through this divorce, but it's places like TSG that taught me a lot, especially how to cope with emotional terrorism. Oh, man, some tough fucking days. Emotional terrorism is some tough days to go through, man. You know, Preston says you can't turn a 304 into a housewife. Let me see my editing folder. Literally in my video ideas was, oh shit, where's it at? Oh, I changed the title. But I literally was like, that was one of my titles. I was like, yep. And here's why. Record, and record. Record, record. Take it any way you need to help you. I'm telling you. Unless a man picks a woman totally on this program, marriage is the most foolish choice a man can make. Yeah, or unless you have the money that you can say, all right, I'll give her $1 million. I'll give her this for this long. It doesn't affect me. But most of us don't live in that world. Even if you have good money, you don't have, most of us don't have, I'm going to give her enough money to totally fund her lifestyle money. You know? Can't please ungrateful people. Haven has called service call the remembrance where audio and video were recorded and stored to give children alienated from their fathers. Yeah. I have audio and video right now. If I had the money for a lawyer, I could get full custody of my daughters. And that's a choice. Look, sometimes you can know you have that, but when you start looking at the chess moves, it may not be the best move. Because in the interim, it's all good. But then it slows you down. It might slow your program down to help everybody else later on. See, it's one thing when, hey, you only got to worry about your kids. Why don't you get your kids? Blah, blah, blah. But man, I'm taking care of my mom, taking care of my little sister, I'm taking care of my cousin. Other people need you. Other people rely upon you. My older kids need me sometimes. So when you are the person that everybody needs, you're like, or you're just one emergency away from being totally broke, you're like, do I spend that money now or do I save it for the rainy day? Because my life has taught me that there's always rainy days. And then it's like, where are we going to get this money from? I don't live like that no more. I save money for the fucking rainy day because I know it's coming. It always does. Right? I don't even know if it's going to happen, is when. And I try to be prepared for that. I've been caught flat-footed too many times, not prepared for the okie doke. And when the damn thing showed up, wasn't prepared. That'll never happen again. You know, even I got to put $50 of, you know, $100 aside to a month. That's still better than not having. Find a small video recorder you can hit play without her noticing to record your interactions. I hear you. In the state of Texas, you can record if you're the one of the people in the video. You need to check your state's laws. Absolutely. Don't be a fool. This isn't, when I say record, this isn't just for going to court. This is to show your kids later. Hey, look, here you go. Here you go. All right? Don't be a fool. My biggest fear during COVID is dying with my daughters, not knowing what happened to me. Yeah. Yeah, man, it's a tough one. Thank God we made it through that shit, right? All right, gents. Thank y'all for being here this evening. It's the beginning of the month, so I was supposed to put out some shorts and stuff. Again, it's a little tough. I got my son here. I'm still trying to run stuff. Last month was very busy. Got the 4th of July coming up. Hope you all have, you know, fun with your friends and family, or it's a chill day for you. I should have a video out on Friday, and I owe the members a video here soon. So I want to thank you all for being here tonight. Thank you all for rocking with your boy. Make sure that you like this video to get this video pushed out later. Leave a comment after the video so that we can get the algorithm going. And one last thing, if you're not subscribed, subscribe to the channel. We typically do these live streams every week. And then like once a month, I try to do what we call a Friday night jam session where we just talk shit, right? I just find some funny clips that I've seen or interesting clips and we just talk about them, have a little sip, and then it's a good time, all right? So thank y'all. I had a great time tonight, man. This was a deep subject. I knew it was going to be a deep subject, and we got more coming, all right? All right, gents, until next time, live your best life.